It's good to see you. I must go. I know I must go.
Obsolete is the punk that talk more junk than several sales. I jet propel at a rate to complicate the mental state as I invade the masquerade. They couldn't fade with the clipper blade. 10 years in the trade is not enough, you can't cut it. I let you take a swing and you butted for an easy out. I leave them seized with doubt of exceeding. My name is Booty Brown and I'm proceeding, leading. They try to follow but they shallow and hollow. I can see right through them like an empty 40 bottle of OE. They have no key or no clue to the game at all. Now they washed up, hung out to dry, standing looking stupid, wondering why. Why, man? It was the fame that they tried to get. Now they walking around talking about represent and keep it real. But I got to appeal, cause they existed in the fantasy when holding it still.
Rockabye, baby. Listen to your heartbeat pumping to a fine ravine of all things. It's the vein.
Broadcasting straight to you from a large spaceship, currently at war with mainstream science. Meanwhile, the Peanut Gallery has been waiting for the event, but it's the same as wanting McRib to be available year-round. Sometimes dreams don't come true. Nice little rip-off from a movie there, but we'll get to that. Welcome to Strange World, where the truth is often stranger in fiction. I'm your host, Mark Sargent, the creator of Flat Earth Clues, which propose that all of us are living inside a Truman Show enclosed structure thousands of miles wide. Just Google Flat Earth Mark. If you can't find it, well, you're just not very good at the internet. Currently, the show is on Tuesday nights, 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern. And yes, Caroline, if it is not September 3rd, 2024, then you are listening to a rerun. Don't forget the show can be found on BitChute and Brighteon, Rockfin, and Rumble. YouTube is not the end of Flat Earth. It is only the beginning. Quote of the day goes exactly like this movie I just watched. This is from Deadpool. I'm going to give it to you ahead of time. Ready? Birthdays. Every spin around the moon is a new adventure indeed. His sidekick says, son, dumbass. To where Deadpool responds, okay, round earther. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Ryan Reynolds may be in the closet with Flat Earth. Woo! Deadpool is not. Deadpool's a flat earther. My co-host, in the upper left, the perfect Patricia Steere, and in the upper right, the delightful DJ Curious. Hi, guys.
Hello.
What's up, Mark? How are you?
I'm just thrilled to be here another Tuesday with you fine people, including the people in the audience, the people in the chat room, and, of course, Peanut Gallery smoking his Pall Mall Reds. Not that I endorse smoking over there in the corner, over in a whole different screen. We put him in like a box way over there.
Because I don't want the smoke to come over here. Because
there you go. That's why
the perfume smell is good.
That's why we put his screen way over there so it doesn't waft into Patricia's screen. That's how technology works. And later, yes, I'm gonna fax both of you a burrito.
I am hungry, so.
Hey, sometimes it's hard to find Flat Earth friends, but there is an easy way to find cool people like yourself and solid info about our stationary horizontal level plane. The solution is simple. It's the Flat Earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app. Watch the feature video every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. This will be the best $2.99 you've ever spent. Oh, so sleepy. And because it's 10 p.m. on the East Coast, it's time to say goodnight to one of our listeners, Paige. She just put on her ricochet rabbit pajamas, got a cup of cocoa with exactly 6 tiny marshmallows, and will probably listen to the playback in the morning. Good night, Paige. And you notice, by the way, that we finally gave away the secret Dave Weiss cam in the beginning? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. They don't know.
Can I say hi to some people in the chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because why not? Hello to Nicola Motors and Woke Doctor, Flat Earth Daily, Edward Messenger, Lowry, Digital Death 187, Ajax, Arwin. Hey, Arwin. ZULUONE in the house, Tom Buddhas. And let me give just a few more hellos. Sometimes hellos are boring if you're just listening to the show, but if you're here live, it's nice to be called out, and it's nice to call you out. You know, I'll call you out on your beep. No. Half Tater, hello. Abraham Clark, hello. Kim Jong-un is also in our chat, which is pretty amazing, actually.
That is amazing.
And Gregory May, hello. And Sue Finelli, Quaalude Charlie, and everyone else who I didn't say hi to you too.
Nice.
Yeah, Flat Earther Eric, and then the chat was shouting out to Peanut. So hey, chat, I'll do it for you. Peanut, they love you.
Yes, they do. Also, shout outs to Flat Earther Stephen Carpenter of the Deftones. Support the Flat Earth cause and get the coolest hoodies ever. Go to the strong.family, won't you? Pick up some merch. He's a cool dude. Also, shout out to ZULUONE, longtime listener of the show, for doing a simulcast stream on his channel. And I'm pretty sure he did it this week. I know that because he asked for the thumbnail beforehand, because he takes my thumb, which is actually made by Life Matrix. Shout out to Life Matrix. And who did all the logos. He does all the logos for us. And Zulu will mess with that. I don't know what he usually puts other people's heads. So I don't know whose head Deadpool's going to have it. By the way, quick little shout out to Ryan Reynolds. I watched the Deadpool movie, and even though Peanut kept saying, you got to see it, and it's like, fine, I'll freaking see it. And I saw it, and that quote, which was verbatim, I had to watch it a couple times. In fact, I found somebody who had the clip on YouTube, and I put it in one of my playlists. It's brilliant. Again, it wasn't just, think about this, and I've said it many, many times. All publicity has its merit and its value. And in this case, it's going to be the biggest movie of the year, no question. It's going to be the Barbie of last year. It's already made $1 billion. It's no doubt going to be Hollywood's in trouble anyway, but it's going to be the biggest movie of the year, money making. And the amount of people and it was a scene in the beginning of the show before people got bored or tired, and during his birthday, and it was a dead stop afterwards. It wasn't just the delivery of that line. There wasn't a lot of dead air in that show. He stopped it after he said round earther and let at least 2 seconds go with dead air. And it was perfect to drive the point home and made sure nobody responded. The whole crowd around him, 10 people, said nothing. It was brilliant. Absolutely freaking brilliant. So
I think we should capture what he said and use it ourselves in daily conversation if we bring up Flat Earth and somebody makes a disparaging remark. You know how people say things like, Flat Earthers stupid. Why don't we say, okay, round earther?
Yeah, you know what?
Maybe from now on, we should try to do it.
Maybe Ryan was trying to say something there. I mean, he is upwards now going to be, he's climbing the ranks of my favorite Canadian ever. Not just because he lived... in fact, I was up in BC, I think, the same time he was.
Didn't you date a Canadian? Maybe you should.
I did date a girl from Canada for a year up there. But anyway, Ryan Reynolds got his start up in British Columbia doing Outer Limits episodes from the 90s. I'll see if I can find the clips. Great stuff. So anyway, shout out to Ryan Reynolds. Good.
Hey, it's great to finally have, what a change. Nice for a change to have a positive Flat Earth joke. Yeah. And especially one that we can use against them. And you know what? Deadpool is kind of already out of the box. And maybe Ryan Reynolds is cool enough to know, because what's happening is the tide is turning. Yeah. And one thing from last week's episode that I really loved was what we did kind of cover, do we think Flat Earth is going to hit critical mass? So if you didn't hear last week's episode, check it out, guys, because what I didn't get to say last week that I really want to hit home with this whole Deadpool thing is that people, the average person now, they're just like, you know what, all bets are off. Anything's possible. They'll maybe entertain Flat Earth more than ever now, and that's the good news for the whole community. So
yeah, things have been so crazy that entertaining just about anything, even Flat Earth, is a possibility.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is why I've been telling people, if you have a Flat Earth project to be made, I know I have criticized Origins Untold a few times, but look, they finished the project and it made it onto was it Hulu? What's the thing that plugs in the back of your machine?
Roku?
Roku, yeah, made it on the Roku channel. And it's like, if that could make it on the Roku channel, guys, if you finish a Flat Earth project and submit it out there, you can get on places, because the bar has been lowered. I'm saying that because of just sheer lack of content. The stuff that gets recommended to me on streaming services nowadays is like you wouldn't have dared recommend it to me 5 years ago. Anyway.
And everything's a rehash and a redone thing.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, they're only banking on established franchises. And again, happy that Ryan finished
because there's no such thing as creativity anymore.
No,
in some ways.
Not really.
But hey, if you're feeling lonely out there, then look around you. There's more flat earthers are in the closet. And so, don't feel like you're so alone. This community is growing. That's the good news.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
you're so positive.
It's a curse.
No one's gonna stop us. Real quick, let's do meetups, and then I've got one mailbag thing that is actually flat Earth related. Thank you, by the way, Carlos. We'll talk about that in a second. Meetups, Flat Earth Meetup, Alberta, Canada, September 8th. That promo's on my channel. Flat Earth Meetup, Atlantic City, New Jersey, set September 13th. I'm pretty sure ZULUONE and Alex Lowry is going to be going to that. Flattoberfest, Spartanburg, South Carolina, September 27th through the 29th. You can go to flatearthfestivals.com. DJ Curious, from what I understand, he's going to be representing Strange World at this event. Is that true?
That is true, Mark. I just booked accommodations, got my flight, and bought my ticket. So, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you there. If you're on the fence, come. Let's have a good time.
Right on. Also, there's going to be a meetup down the road, October 12th, Kansas. Well, I'll mention everything beforehand. If you guys want me to do a meetup promo on my channel, all you have to do is email me, say where and when. Give me contact information. I will put that promo up, and then after it's done, I will delete it, because if I didn't delete the people, it's like, why did you delete the Flat Earth meetups? Because we've had way too many over the years. My channel.
Plus, people could get confused. It's the wrong date,
right?
And the wrong one, and whatever.
I mean, there's some of these that do every month. Some of these meetups, they've done a lot of these, especially like the ones that have been happening over in the UK, for example. You don't want to do the wrong one. Also, okay, so real quick, mailbag. I got finally. Oh, this is significant, by the way. This is a Flattoberfest 2023.
Nice.
This is Carlos.
Oh, the last one.
Friend, long time.
Oh no,
friend.
That's 2023.
No, that's 2023. This was sent, by our good friend in Vegas, who sends me all sorts of stuff. And so, yes, I got all the packages. Thank you. The only one I'm going to show, of course, is this. Why is this significant? Because I was emceeing the show. And because I emceed the show, I wasn't even emceeing for, 4 hours. I get to the front, and all the XLs of this shirt were sold out. So he sent me his XL shirt. Thank you. And
oh my gosh, that's so nice.
I know. Very,
the
very
literal
nice.
shoot off his back.
Yes. So,
oh my God.
I watched it.
adding to the collection. And the people that were there, me, Dave Murphy, Mark Devlin, Jason Lindgren, Ben Balderson, Amanda Vollmer, Austin Witzig, Greg Reese, Jaron Campanella, Chief Crow and the Flat Earth Worms, Chad Davis. Yeah. Very, very cool. So thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's so cool. I wish I would have got that shirt. I think I was a year ago. It's crazy how much has changed, guys, because last year I was afraid to even wear that shirt.
Wait, you didn't get yours from admissions when you signed in?
I don't think so. I really don't.
Yeah, you're not really. I don't see you as a t-shirt kind of guy, though.
But I won the lab coat.
Yes, you did. You walked away with a very special thing, which was the lab coat, which makes you more intelligent just for owning it, just for holding it. You don't even have to wear it. By the way, real, I want to get this out there real fast before Paige and David go to bed. Next week, September 10th, on Strange World, we will be bringing in live for you here David Weiss, the hardest working man in Flat Earth currently, doing all sorts of interviews. I mean, he's up in the four figures, probably 1,500, 1,600 interviews at this point. David, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong there. And he's going to talk about whatever is on his mind, and we're going to give him mad props because he's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And of course, the Flat Earth app has got 200,000 subs and counting, and it's wonderful. So David Weiss,
Dave is the man.
September 10th, he will be filling up the box that currently is filled up with Deadpool. So you got some big shoes to fill there.
Dave, we're looking forward to having you.
Yeah.
May I say a couple of hellos to people who've emailed me without really getting into the email, just so they know I've read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, hello to C.S. Hillman and Jim Beck, Jeffrey Long, Carrie NCUSA, Carrie Daly, actually, and Krista Orman, who shared pictures of her fluffy friends, and William Swords as well, and Ryan Klauk. So hi to all of you. And... yeah, I think there's something else and someone else. Oh, I want to if anybody's into the Mandela effect, they know who Brian Staveley is also. So shout out to Brian Staveley. He put out a video today, September 3rd, talking about some big changes in his life. He's going to be getting into the real estate world, and he's in North Carolina and enjoying living on a lake and bartending and making huge life changes. And it was just a real positive video for a flat earther Mandela effect guy who's continuing with those thoughts and beliefs, but branching out in the world and attempting to, I guess in his mind, become more successful and become more integrated into a community outside of just the conspiracy community. So I just want to give Brian Staveley a big love heart and a big salute for that.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. I should probably give a few shout outs too. I'll make it quick. But shout out to everyone who added DJ Curious Strange World on TikTok, Instagram, Rumble, and Twitter. Hey, it is growing already. Appreciate the support. Share the profiles out.
And no worries at all. I'm going to play that in just a second. But first, I want to give, I'm going to give an anti-shout-out. I'm not going to call it something super negative, but it's an anti-shout-out to YouTube for taking down one of my back catalogs. They took down Strange World 96 for medical misinformation. And if you guys were wondering how far back that was 7 years ago. Oh, it was nothing special. Oh, I can tell you. Well, the title was called Flat Earth is the, give me 1 second. It was called Flat Earth is the Past and Your Future. Strange World 96. And I know what it was about. I mean, I was probably talking about old, remember this, because this predates everything that's happened in the last, it was 7 years ago. So I was probably talking about old shots in the arm. So yeah, there you go. So, I'm sorry, what was that, DJ? Maybe it's possible. I don't know if it's going to help anything, but yeah, I'll take a look. I mean, at that point, it's I get it. Look, this is not the first time. Remember, they killed during the last 3 years. They killed an entire year of stuff. Literally 50-something weeks worth of episodes right in a row. All right. Anyway, so DJ's been inspiring me to do the Fast Earth Clue, is otherwise known as Flat Earth Shorts. And this week is on gravity. In case you missed it, I'm going to play it for you now. It's only 60 seconds. So, yeah, here we go. You ready? So my flat earth friends message me and say, Mark, you got to do a video on gravity. I said, yeah, sure. Let's start with some fun facts. Every scientist that the media cares about, and by that I mean these three chuckleheads, not him, never him, will boil it down to this. They can't tell you what gravity is, only when it does. Oh, sure, they can measure how fast something falls, but it can't be created in a lab. Simple, right? No, because right now you're thinking magnets. It's not magnets, but it does sort of act like magnets. So a quick definition would be this. Gravity is an unknown molecular force that pulls things down. Mark, that's magnets. Find some sort of giant invisible magnet that affects everything. Look into electrostatics. Can't be replicated, can't be detected. Every story you've recently heard about gravity waves being found in space is just desperate nerds looking to renew their funding. Want to give scientists a headache? Talk about the vacuum of space. Where does it begin? What happens there? You don't know. Again, if you have a vacuum chamber above you, hit the valve, everything equalizes. But outside, the ultimate vacuum chamber of space doesn't grab all the air and we stop breathing? Vacuum beats gravity every time. So if gravity isn't keeping us alive, what is it? It's an enclosed system. It's pressurized. It's flat. Do your own research. Or don't. Whatever. I'm done. There you go. So, well, I am. Thank you. And I am going to be doing, next week will be called Moon. And then the week after that, it's going to be called Science. And that one, I'd go Moon, then Sun, but I'm gonna put a break between Moon and Sun. I'm going to do one called Science, where I point out where science has got things wrong. No, it's going to be more funny than anything, but it's a real rapid fire. You've heard me do it in interviews about all the time science was absolutely sure this idea was going to be a great idea, and it was horribly, horribly wrong. So, yeah, there's... Well, I don't think, well, okay, one, I did that deliberately, but two, what's interesting was, I'm sure that was just his head that was photoshopped on somebody else's shoulders, pretty sure anyway, but the fact that somebody else did it before me was awesome. Okay. Peanuts. Well, no. Well, no, it wasn't that. No, you got to remember that Peanut's sending me messages, and for whatever reason, Peanut says the audio. Should I turn their mics on separately and see what happens, Peanut? What do you think? Turn on Turbo Bridge. Oh, Turbo Bridge dropped. Oh, so he's trying to add Turbo Bridge into the system. So sorry. Yeah, crap. Okay, we're gonna turn it on. It's the second, we're gonna give Peanut a second to see if he can get it, cause they go through Turbo Bridge. Yeah, sorry about that. Because of we pipe you guys through the phone lines. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna see if Peanut can get Turbo Bridge back up, and if he can't, all I have to do is, you know what? I can turn on their mics separately, and we can just do it. Unless Peanut says otherwise. You know what? Let's turn them on. Let's do it. Let's see what happens. Once Turbo Bridge comes up, it's gonna be a wicked echo though, if we do this. So that's fine. Okay, we're going to turn on DJ, and we're going to turn on Patricia. Okay, go ahead and talk now. You guys, both of you, either one.
Hello. It's Patricia here.
Again, you'll know in the chat room once Turbo Bridge comes back, they'll probably say brutal echo.
Am I on Gregory or Kim Jong or Singe Man?
This would be the agency, by the way, messing with us.
By the way, hello to don't follow Crumb. He's in his chat as he's making his way to his new home.
No, you're not. You're on now, DJ.
No, we're on.
They lost audio before we played the clip. So I don't know if we should like recover what we kind of talked about really quick, or.
Now they say there's Patricia, which is probably pretty nice.
Has it come back? Do we have an echo now?
Yeah, they say there's two of me, whatever that means.
All right. Give me a second.
Sorry guys.
No. This is the wonders of computers. I love them so much. Okay, so we're gonna turn on.
Welcome to the conference
there it
center.
goes.
There is one party in the conference. You are a host.
Okay. Patricia, give me a test of whatever.
Hello. Here I am in Houston.
She's
with
on
my cats.
Your 5x5
talking.
DJ. Go.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope that chat can hear us.
They will. It'll take a few seconds because there's a delay when you go to YouTube.
Yeah, they're saying there's a wicked echo. Is that going to be going away?
The echo is already turned off, so it's just cycling back in. So what we do, just so you guys know, is when we go through OBS.
Peanut says we're good.
Yeah, DJ and Patricia go through the Turbo Bridge, our phone system. Their audio is coming through that. So, for whatever reason, again, if the agency figured out that was happening and they decided to mess with us and turn off our phone system briefly, you wouldn't be able to hear those two. So, what were we talking about before we were talking about the gravity thing? Oh, that's right. We were talking about the short.
Yes.
And I just think that everyone who joined the social media saying the shorts have been really popular and that the comments are great and people love the material that you've done, Mark. And then I told everyone to take a big inhale breath while you said. So my flat earth friends messaged me and say, Mark, you got to do a video on the gravity.
And again, first off, I'm never going to change this, which is, people recommend it. It's like, oh, you should do the audio editing. You don't even have to do it that hard. You can just let it be done with software. It's like, yeah, that's what people that lean on auto-tune do.
Sorry, chat. We know that's annoying, and thanks for bringing it.
I'm going to just take a big breath. I'm going to get as much as I can, and then you'll hear me kind of breathing in the background while I talk. Look, I can talk fast. I know I can. So
yes, you can.
I can, and I can do 60 seconds without screwing up if given the chance.
I feel like I have to be a ninja just to get the word in.
Somebody reminded me. Patricia's old enough, and so is Peanut old enough to remember the old Micro Machine commercials. They hired the one of the world record speed readers that could read really talk, and to where, again, during the 80s you could do this, and it was hard to follow the commercial, but it was awesome. But nowadays they do it just with software. So anyway, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Again, next week will be Moon, which I'm going to have fun with because there's so many weird things about the moon. It's just going to be a lot of unpacking, and then the week after that will be science. So
all right,
there you go.
Yeah, that's good.
What time we got? 7:22. I think we could probably start on headlines. What do you think?
Yeah, since we completely spaced on them last week.
And by the way, I'd like to, yes, please, thank you.
And I shouldn't say spaced on them.
No, we were having such a good time that DJ reminded us early, and then later, by the time the show ended, and I'm not kidding, guys, the three of us were talking, the show had ended, and 20 minutes after, Patricia was already in bed. And DJ and I were talking afterwards. It's like, and all of a sudden just dawned on me. It's like, oh my God, we forgot headlines. That wasn't done deliberately. That was completely accidental. So
we just were.
I think it worked out.
It did.
It was the first show with all three of us together, and we were really just visiting and revisiting Flat Earth war stories. Right. So we just kind of got caught up.
Are you kidding me? It was so exciting for me, who's already just been a fan of the show and a fan of you guys, to hear how your first conference went. So if you didn't hear last week's episode, I loved it. It was a great conversation, and I still have more questions from your guys, but we'll get to that after the headlines.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to see if we can punch through these until the midway point. I think, Peanut, keep an eye on time. Okay, we're going to start with the obvious one. This is from TMZ, the greatest journalists in the world. Stranded NASA astronaut. Houston, we have another problem. Report of eerie sound coming from Boeing Starliner. And thank you for everyone that sent me this headline. Yes, those are the two astronauts that were going to be there for, a weekend stay, and now they're going to stay past Christmas.
Just imagine being stuck anywhere with either one of them.
No. Yeah. Well, you mean lad in Air Force Base, sitting on lounge chairs?
Exactly. Yeah. She's getting a manicure and pedicure, and maybe he is too right now as we speak.
It is.
I mean, they're having cocktails. I hope they're at a tropical destination. Those lying, you know what? It's just so sick. But I doubt they're in pain. They're like...
But this is just a space hype story. That's all it is, which is, in fact, it reminds me, thank you for bringing it up earlier, it kind of reminds me of the eerie, weird sounds of that sub, that for the billionaires sub, that all of a sudden was hearing this creaking sound. Then we never heard from them again. I don't think this is going to turn into a tragedy, because they never have tragedies with astronauts.
Well, they used to.
Well, they used to. They don't anymore.
And by the way, think about that sub story. Was that whole thing just fake?
No, I believe it. I believe the sub story, because you've seen it. Billionaires get bored easily, and they just do dumb things. I mean, come on. The difference. What's the difference between these guys and what James Cameron's done with the subs? Remember,
you can go down underwater in a sub. You can't go into space. So okay. All right.
Does the submarine have to point its nose down, like it's the same way a plane would have to if it's a ball?
Yeah. Subs, in fact, I've had several sub guys say the firing solutions for torpedoes don't take into account the curvature. It's like, there's no difference down there. It's just the medium, water versus air. You're still, the torpedoes have to maintain a certain level.
So guys,
subs have to...
That's a good flat Earth proof right there, because if the Earth is a ball and the land would be being pulled to the center, that underneath at the bottom of the ball, the ocean, submarines would have to dive to keep up with the curvature. And is that ever happening? Are subs ever coming up upside down? No. So, something to think about.
There you go.
But also, subs have a machine shop. I don't know if they called it a machine shop on them, where they produce things to fix things, because all the stuff that needs to be fixed in a sub is primarily on the inside.
Yep.
But they made the fake ISS, the vision that they put in our minds anyway, where all the stuff that they need to fix is on the outside, but they don't have a machine shop where they make anything on the fake ISS.
Right.
So it's just more things that make it completely unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yeah. And do submarines ever do flips underwater? I know this was a dumb question, but hello, I'm here. So Mark?
I do not know. Peanut says no. He's our military expert.
Okay, see, never thought of it.
We're going to skip past the Boeing Starliner thing. We just know that they're going to be up there past Christmas.
Maybe there'll be a Christmas miracle and they'll come home.
I guarantee they'll be wearing hats and lights and the whole 9 yards. It'll be like, where'd you get it? Oh, it's like.
But are they going to make them grow out their hair and her facial hair and just be stinky and be like, sorry, you guys are stuck up there, but. Ran out of beauty products and ran out of all the things, so they're just nappy. I mean, I hope that's what they make them do, just for the sake of the craft. If you're
maybe she'll grow out her facial hair.
Yes, I know, exactly.
Right.
So rude, but Sunita, come on, either come out and debunk this, or come to this side, because how does that feel to be lying if you are? It doesn't feel good.
No,
right.
No, it's again, you guys have heard me say it many times, which is that it is straight up stagecraft, which is you gloss over the stuff. You don't even bring it up, out of sight, out of mind, which is again, life support. How much life support? Really, those two people, they can just stay for months and months. You got all the supplies you need for them. The oxygen's not going to be tapped out. The nitrogen system, all the pressures, no one.
All the waste. Where's all the waste going? Is it?
Yeah, ew, come on.
When's the last time somebody seriously, trolls, find me a video where they open up a cupboard and show you all the food. Right. Yeah, it's like, or all the water they should be using, or
toilet paper.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, they'll just stay here.
Exactly. You run out of toilet paper first, and then you're stuck up there trying to get creative. It's worse than an Apollo 13 situation. I'd rather lose air than run out of like products. So come on, Sunita and the other guy, you better come out looking haggard or something's up.
We want to welcome personally the Strange World team, any and all astronauts of any age, to our side. You can just come to our side, tell us that you've had enough of lying, and we will welcome you with open arms. We will make fun of you at first a little bit and try to kick you around a bit and shame you for all the lies that you've told to humanity. However, after that is done, consider it a hazing. We will welcome you to the right side, which is the flat side.
Oh my God, I love it. No, exactly. We'll clean you up. We'll clean you up, Sunita.
Sorry, I'm superficial. I can't get past the chin. I can't. I can't. I've never.
A world-class chin.
I mean, that is
world-class chin, and I almost cried laughing. That's so. I feel terrible, but come on.
I mean, no, seriously. You talk to anyone in the Hollywood industry, and you say, it's like, oh God, I'd have to spend like 4 hours with prosthetics to create that chin. They'd have to sit in the chair.
It's like Halloween's coming up. Her chance to shine.
Oh my God!
No, I just don't.
The flat Earth makeover. Anita, you need a flat Earth makeover, please. Dusty DJ is here for you.
All right. Okay, we got a couple more ridiculous space stories. Of course, this one's from livescience.com, so you absolutely know it's true. Which is NASA discovers a planet-wide electric field around Earth that's shooting bits of our atmosphere into space. Okay, NASA scientists have discovered a planet-wide electric field, confirming a 60-year-old hypothesis. 60 years. What happened 60 years ago? Oh, right, Apollo. Okay. Studying the field could yield some vital information about how our planet's atmosphere has evolved. Okay, and there's a shot, not real. Supposedly photographed by Expedition 13. Sure. On the ISS. Yeah, sure. Whatever. No,
I don't understand this one. Help me. NASA discovers planet-wide electrical field around the Earth that's shooting bits of atmosphere into space. What does that mean exactly?
Literally nothing. It means space is real. Believe.
All right. Do you want me to read you part? Of this?
No. What is your take on this? What are they trying to tell? What are they trying to tell the Globers? What are they trying to tell the Globers?
Oh, all they're trying to tell the Globers is the globe. I remember every story that all you have to do is show this shot here. It's like, we have a theory about the globe that may or may not be true. That's really what this is, right? And of course, since NASA discovers it, and all you have to do is show this. It's like, oh yeah, our globe, everything's fine, everything's right with the world. It's like, where's the stars? Doesn't matter.
So it's kind of just like more brainwashing.
That's all it is.
Kind of subliminal messaging.
Yes, hot sex.
Okay, I get that. I see that.
And the reason why they do it, again, I've said this for years, which is, what happened to DJ?
I didn't do it.
What happened? He better come back.
This only happens when we really hit something on the head.
Yeah.
And
Okay. Well. All right. I'm gonna
kill switch.
I'll give you a few seconds while I'm doing this, so for it to come back. Hopefully, otherwise we're just gonna look at DJ's chin. Which
Guys,
is
I'm right here.
It is reinforcement constantly, which is doesn't matter what, as long as they're talking about. See it, there it goes. That is so freaking weird.
That was Sunita. She was like, "Oh yeah, my chin. What about your chin?"
and seriously, if you believe that I'm working with the agency, I would do something like this, like cut it out. We're live.
Well, it's gonna take more than that to get rid of me.
I don't care how cute he is. Leave him on the screen. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. So whatever you're talking about, so it's like, oh, there's a mysterious face on Mars because you're on a globe. There's a hexagram on the top of Saturn. Oh, it's a globe. Oh, look, something happened to the spot on Jupiter because you're on a globe. Yeah. That's all. They don't even care if you read the article. In fact, they'd really like it.
So that's what it was confusing me. Is like that article's a little even too confusing for the average glober. They're gonna be like, huh? And
it's not even for them to read. It's for them. It's for their eyes to glance over and just the idea we're on a globe. Yep. That's it.
That's all it is.
Well, and that's one of the things that bugged me this whole time while I was when I was a glober, because I was paying attention to those articles. I was like the guy that was actually reading them and following and going, why do I never see actual footage? Why do I never get like a sample of life on Mars? Why are all these things that are just so? It's like breadcrumbs. It's a narcissistic breadcrumb trail where it's like, follow us, we've got all the answers, and it's nothing.
Yeah. It is. This whole system, not just space, and NASA, but it's basically the whole whatever it is. It has narcissistic personality disorder big time.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. So that's the thing. If you're listening and you're thinking that the flat earthers are crazy, hey, Google right now, picture of Earth from space spinning. You're gonna tell me and send it to us if you think that's real. Because your own judgment, your own ability to use your senses will show you and tell you that these are all fake. And so just go try to find a real one. I mean, start there.
They even say they're fake. They even say they're small pieces of photographs stitched together, which isn't true either, actually. But that's even they are saying that it's fake.
So crazy. And I loved space. So I paid attention. I was that nerd. And now I'm just, but that's why it felt so good to get the flat side, because you're like, oh my God, actual evidence, actual images of the Earth, actual things that make sense. My senses are correct. It's in alignment with scripture. It was like boom, 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 boom. It was an amazing feeling.
Yeah. And
really?
everyone is nicer over here. We're not lying on purpose.
No. Again, at least I will say this.
We could be mistaken about some of the things, but we're not lying on purpose, unlike their side. They're mistaken and lying. We're not choosing to believe
something that there isn't scientific evidence for. There is scientific evidence for this. That's the problem with a lot of people, and why they don't want to look at it. In fact, it's so scary for some people because of their brainwashing and conditioning that when they start to look into it and they hear the flat sides, they immediately think that it's just lies and that everything's a lie, and they literally have to pull the plug from the TV to stop hearing this truth because it jolts them to their core. Of like, could this be? And if it was, then it means the deception was insane, far beyond what any average human would expect, because our nature is a lot more good than that. So, boom.
Yep. I'm with you, man. All right. So real quick, I wanted to ask both of you, have you heard, I'm sure one of you has it. Have either of you heard or used or have a Telegram account?
I did for a little while with crypto, but I never used it, so I just deleted it.
All right. DJ?
Yes, I was on Telegram a lot during the COVID lockdown because that's where I was actually finding information that I was getting deleted everywhere else. And Telegram was like my only connection back to what could be the truth for me, where I was getting just another perspective. Yeah. And that's literally helped me, learn more about all the things that make decisions for myself that I'm glad that I did. So Telegram. Huge during that time.
The reason why, and it's in the title, the title, of course, is called Gravity, Telegram, and Deadpool. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure everybody caught the Gravity clip. I don't think that was muted out because I was going through a different channel.
I think that was fine.
So if you guys don't know what Telegram Messenger is, you can look it up on Wiki to know for sure. But it was started by Nikola and Pavel Durov. It's got like 1 billion users on it right now, between 900 million and 1 billion users. And it is a massive, massive service. In fact, the majority stake of the users are in India, of all things. And it's registered as a company in the British Virgin Islands. It's an LLC in Dubai. It does not disclose where it rents offices or which legal entities it uses to rent them, citing the need to shelter the team from unnecessary influence and protect users from governmental data requests. Okay, why is this important? if you're wondering, it's like, wow, these guys seem to got it all together. It's like they started up this massive social media platform, and then they wanted to hide it from the world powers. So, what do you think happened to these guys? Well, here's what happened to these guys. And this is through RT.com, otherwise known as Russia Today. Elon Musk, because we have to we got to throw Elon in there, right? Comments on possible U.S. role in Durov arrest. The billionaire made the remarks after journalist Tucker Carlson said it was hard to believe Paris didn't consult Washington. So the creators of Telegram were in France. And then all of a sudden, the French authorities decided to keep him there. It's like you're going to be accused. Basically, it's like, your social platform is conducive to organized crime and doing all these illegal activities. Like, really, singling them out. And France is like, oh, yeah, we're going to hold them here. So they can't leave. They can't leave France. Right. And so Elon's comment was, again, the fact that this is even going through there. It's like possible U.S. role. Well, yeah, that's because we told them to do it. If you're wondering, you want to read between the lines, this is how it works, right? If you run, it was easy for us over here. Like you run Microsoft, the military comes to you and says, we want to backdoor all your systems. You want to run Facebook, you want to run, in TikTok. It's like, oh no, we'll get to you eventually. But these guys kept bouncing around to all these different non-extradition countries and setting up servers in different places. And you know how that goes, where like they're getting asked and they're like, nope, we're not going to do it. So they find like, okay, you think you can run? You can't run. We're going to find you eventually. So it's an interesting little story. Read it up.
Now they're saying that there's a probe going on. South Korean porn is being tied to it. They're just doing whatever they can to bring it down.
Yeah,
anything to crush any level of freedom. Whether or not there's something sketchy going on there, there's something sketchy going on in your own neighborhood or even your family. Sketchy things happen all the time. But I don't think Telegram is this bad place where only dark things occur.
No.
It's primarily a place where people learn and connect.
This is the
carrot. And that's bad.
This is a perfect example of the carrot and the stick, which is you're offering them, but behind the scenes, they're going to these guys like, look, you think you're fine, you got a lot of money, you got a lot of influence. We're the powers that be. What do you think you're going to be able to do? Exactly. And so we're going to make, like Patricia was saying.
Crazy. That's dark, right? I mean, that makes me feel a little bit nervous because I expect them, and a lot of people have the suspicion that our free speech really is being encroached upon more and more and more, no matter even if you are flat earther or not. The globe side, they feel it now too, and they've seen it. If you've been paying attention just to how information has been spread and how they're manipulating our opinions in every which way, and more people are waking up to that. So it's in step with that. So what do you think is going to happen? Is Telegram going to go down?
Oh no. I think eventually they'll cave in, like most guys do. There'll be a realistic. We've seen it in different fictional things over the years where they sit them down. It's like, look, where do you think you're gonna do? You can't just keep running from place to place. They're gonna go to them and say there's no such thing. Again, I'm not trying to be bleak or dark here. I'm just saying the internet was built on the backbone of the United States military. That's how it started out, as a giant bulletin board system that just added graphics. It's like, why don't we have the civilians get into it? The fact, there was a wonderful story, if you want to look up the theory behind it before, what was it called? LifeLog. That's what it was called. Look up something called LifeLog. The United States government tried to sign everybody up some years ago to something called LifeLog. They couldn't get it done. And then magically, just a few months later, something came out that the military had nothing to do with, called Facebook.
Right.
MySpace, then Facebook. MySpace.
Wasn't Facebook called something else first? Face something.
Well, it was
somebody
called
in the chat will know.
It was called the
Facebook.
The Facebook. And you know who was the guy that came up, that shortened that name, was the creator of Napster.
Well, interesting.
Who was played by Justin Timberlake in the movie.
Oh, right.
The Social Experiment, I believe.
No, that's not it.
Yeah, you're right.
The social Experiment.
Oh crap! What was it called? Or the Social Network? What was the
Social Network?
Social Network. Yeah, the lawsuit. Basically, it was a social lawsuit. That's what that movie was about. Everybody's suing. It's like, wait, it's a gold mine. Everybody get lawyers.
We've really transitioned from the original, Facebook social media days. That kind of came out right after I graduated high school. So I feel like I've grown up with and seen the evolution of how social media has changed and how information, we do live in the information age more than ever now, but them trying to rein it back in is the part that's really frightening, because how far are they willing to go? Are they willing to go, like if there's predictive programming, remember that Netflix movie where it says, leave the world behind, and they shut down information altogether to start a civil war. A lot of people are feeling like that could be on the horizon, even if you're a glober or not. It's just kind of something that people are scared about right now.
If you've never seen the movie, the documentary called The Social Dilemma, check it out if you get a chance. With all the creators, they interviewed all the creators of MySpace and Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that. And it kind of felt, as because they were all apologizing for what was going on, and it kind of reminded me of even though I wasn't alive when it came out, was the Eisenhower military industrial complex speech, where Eisenhower, during his closing address, when he was like, I'm out of here, he was going, watch out for the military, basically telling people, it's like, look, I helped create something, might get out of hand. And that's what these guys were saying. It's like social media has become this all-encompassing. They're basically calling it a Frankenstein monster. That's
what ended up happening though after Eisenhower. Then that could be like programming or just kind of history repeating itself in the modern era.
The comment was lost for a while because it's like nobody knew what he was talking about. Because remember, he invented the basically the thing. If you guys don't know exactly, just quick refresher: military-industrial complex is the union between physical contractors like Boeing and Lockheed Martin and Raytheon, the military who uses these weapons, and the politicians which authorize the wars. And basically, once all three groups become locked in, they sync up, where it's like, wait a minute, we can get a 30% return on investment if we start wars. Oh yeah, let's start some wars. And then the whole thing just starts spinning up like a turbine. And that didn't exist before Eisenhower was in office. It was after World War II. All of a sudden, all these groups started like, hey, can we get like a symbiotic thing going on there? So that's what it is. Anyway, sorry, we're kind of off track. Let's go to.
Well, I was trying to think about what could happen in the future. Then, if this goes, what direction do you see it going, Mark? And then, what's the consequences?
What? Because with Social Dilemma, with the social media.
Well, just are they setting us up? Are they kind of trying to make people think that, like, hey, we shouldn't have that much free speech?
Yeah,
and it's kind of just
and also don't go to alternative sources. They're dangerous. They're dark. They're bad. Only use trusted sources, which is the programming sources.
Yes.
So that's what's dark about this, is just people don't want to believe that there could be that much deception and manipulation fed to us. But it seems to be true. I mean,
well, look, they hid the shape of the earth from us.
They did.
I know that's why we're here going. Yeah. We'll question everything. Nothing's beneath us now. I mean, we're at the flat Earth is at the very bottom in everyone's mind of like conspiracies meant to make other conspiracies look stupid. And it's like, no, you just haven't looked into what flat Earth is saying, nor do you understand it correctly, because the hit campaign against it has been your whole life.
Right.
So
exactly.
Look at the bigger overarching theme when it comes to the social stuff is we've gotten people so used to jumping for the convenience first. Is what being offered to them, is it convenient, and does that convenience override personal freedoms and it's like curb your opinions type stuff, to where now it's like, oh no, again, the running joke, which is if you went to Germany, if you time traveled back to Germany and showed them like social media, the running joke is like, wait a minute, you're telling me that people not only are willing to voluntarily put their personal information online everywhere, right? But they jump at the chance and they post stuff we don't even ask for. They post everything, about everything, just because that's the new clout, that's the new status, hence, watch Fake Famous, wonderful documentary, which has shown not necessarily DJ's generation, but Gen Z and Gen Alpha, that the only thing is worth more than money is social credibility, which is just like what is your presentation online? How good do you look online?
Unless you're a flat earther. It's like social credibility.
There you go. Peanuts quote, an old quote from Ben Franklin: "Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. Yeah, and that's never changed. That's a 200-year-old quote. And people are easy, again, we've given them social media. Yes. Does it have a lot of benefits and gets people connected? Sure. But now, like a lot of things, we haven't reeled it back in. So, I mean, they're letting this one go to where, social media can be used all sorts of fun different ways. And again, we're going to find out with the election coming up. Go ahead.
Cell phones too. I mean, they have a lot of great benefits, but they are a trap. Right. Everywhere you go now, you go to get a smoothie and they say you can look at our menu by using our app. And you're like, but I'm here in the place. Can I just order? Yeah. No, but you need to sign in on the app, or there's a $10 minimum unless you use the app. And you just feel like walking out, or you get the app. And I don't want to get the app.
Speaking of,
and it's not because I'm a Luddite or you're old and you're not with I just think it's too invasive.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. Let's we have reason for suspicion, like you said. And so how far is this? I mean, that's the part where, at least when you're on this flat side, you're seeing where the lies could be happening and kind of can counteract them as best as you can. I mean, at least it's like you're not just falling for every single thing that they're feeding these people.
Exactly.
Right. Let's give a segue right into a perfect example of that, which was a headline that Patricia sent me, which was, again, I missed it. This is from The Hill, pretty reputable place. Again, weight loss drug reduced risk of COVID deaths in new study. Again, all you have to do is release this headline, and you guys know what weight loss drug we're talking about, because there's only one drug that anyone's talking about, which is the civilian version of Ozempic, which is called Wegovy. And it's like, oh no, Wegovy reduces COVID deaths. Okay, sure. And again, that throws into people's heads just another reason. That's cross-marketing. That's brilliance.
Exactly. And also, if you read further into that, I'm not sure of the exact way the stat was broached, but I think it said that you have a 33% less chance of dying of COVID.
Was it 33? Let's take it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there it is. Sure enough, people taking the drug still contracted the virus during the clinical trial, but their chances of dying dropped by 33%. Nothing suspicious about that number.
Good catch. At
Patricia. All. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Nothing gets past her. I love that because, Yeah.
Let's continue down this thread, because there are other stories. We'll just give you subliminal hot sex messaging that they throw in everywhere, right? Here's two. This one's just for you, DJ. You ready?
Okay.
Here we go. This is from TMZ. All these guys should be winning awards, which is Patrick Mahomes, quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs. Taylor Swift loves football. She's drawing up plays. Okay, I'm not even going to read this article. I'm just going to tell you. I'm going to tell you my opinion here. It's like, guys, look. I know the NFL. The NFL is stubborn when it comes to things. They run several games in the UK every freaking year. They've been doing it for years. The UK is never going for it. They love darts more than they do American football. Right? They like cricket. They like soccer. They like tennis. They don't like American football. Stop trying to get teenage girls to go into NFL football. It's not going to happen. It's never changed. That whole dynamic has never changed over the years. They get married to a guy that likes football, and then they are stuck freaking either watching football or hanging out with their friends and trying to ignore it the best they can every Sunday and Thursday and Monday and sometimes Saturday, until you get to the playoffs.
You're right. When I was growing up, my dad and my brother watched sports in the house, and my mother and sister and I did not. And I told my mother and my sister, when I grow up and I get married, I will never marry a man who watches sports. Guess what? I didn't.
There you go.
I didn't marry anybody.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Because they all watch sports.
Oh my God, Patricia, you and I are going to be best friends. I'm so in line with that.
But they're trying. The fact that this is a TMZ, this wasn't just a TMZ story. This was a Fox News story. This was pro sport. Again, the crossover, which is, I know they're trying so hard. They've been trying ever since the Travis Kelce thing, where she showed up in the skyboxes. And you guys remember I called it last year. The second time she showed up to a game in the skybox, I said, "Oh, Kansas City Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl." That's just the way it's going to be, because they're going to make sure she is down on the field during the ring presentation.
I love how much you just troll Taylor Swift on this show, because I've never been a fan of hers. I think her music is made for like the basic B, and that people who fall for it, they're just being, going for this like at least I had the nerve to like somebody like more edgy than Taylor Swift.
Music.
But even though now I just see that they're, little puppets anyway, but
yeah, the media, all media, music and television and movies has pulled back. It has contracted and contracted to where, again, I joked last year. I said, apparently she's the only one touring. Nobody else cares about anyone else.
Yeah,
it's just
weird, right?
And so because that, we're going to see what sort of crossover we can do. Oh, Taylor Swift. Can she date somebody in the NFL? I don't know. Let's pretend. Let's set up a dating for convenience, which again, they still didn't go far enough. It's like, dude, it was her perfect chance. You have him go down on one knee after the Super Bowl win. And if it breaks off later, that's fine. But it would have been the moment. It could have been the moment somebody dropped the ball. See what I did there?
You had some very good predictions that were epic, Mark, about Taylor Swift and the whole way everything was going to be revealed. And you made the prediction that she's going to endorse Kamala as we get closer towards the election. So we got Strange World has their eye on that because you make some pretty good predictions.
Didn't she do that already?
I haven't been following her that much.
Maybe, who knows?
I feel like, no, we would have heard about it, right?
Okay.
So that's
Peanut says no, she hasn't done it yet. Okay, so we got 4 more before
I just
the break.
assumed.
I think we can get them in.
But this is saving the big guns for closer to the election when it's fresh in your mind of who you're going to vote for.
Because this wasn't the only thing that I had about Taylor that ticked me off. This is one that ticked me off even more. You ready? This is from RT.com. Terrorists plan to kill tens of thousands at a Taylor Swift concert.
Ooh.
Who said that? The CIA. Okay, again, stop getting teenage girls thinking they're going to get interested in the NFL, and stop telling the teenage girls that the CIA is their friends and the CIA saved your idol Taylor Swift. All they had to do was run that story. It's like, we stopped a terrorist plot. Really?
It's just it's a form of space programming.
Tens of thousands.
Or it's predictive programming because remember what happened at the Ariana Grande concert in London?
Yeah, but that was fake.
Yeah, but even if it was
in my opinion.
Oh my God!
Even if it was,
so
how many people?
Bomb didn't really have. Okay, well,
how many people died? Wait, guys! How many
really died?
How many people reportedly died?
I don't know, maybe 13 in my mind.
Peanut, look that up. Was it 13? Either way.
33.
Either way, it wasn't 10,000. If it was 10,000, that would be an act of war.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be, it's like, come on. But again, the CIA puts that out there. It didn't get much traction.
This is what's trippy. I have to go back and research what I maybe fell for and what I didn't and just kind of help clear my head because.
What year was that?
7 years ago.
Chief Crow and the Flat Earthworms. Auto hoax or GTFO.
And
it basically, it doesn't mean say everything's fake when it happens. It just means withhold your judgment about a thing being real or fake until you do more investigation. Even if the news media and all your friends are saying it's real, just to sort of hoax it. Don't just say it's fake, but withhold your viewpoint and investigate it.
By the way,
then decide.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Wait a minute, killed 22 and injured 1,000 at an Ariana Grande concert? Huh, I didn't follow that one. Oh, anyway,
it was in Manchester, England. Yeah.
So the last part, I'm sorry, the one more thing about the CIA thing, which was, it wasn't even in America. The CIA supposedly stopped this in Vienna. That's like, okay, so you have no way of verifying this at all. Okay, so we have 3
if this actually happens in real life and that many of us, huge number of fans died at a Taylor Swift concert. Do you know how evil and disgusting and psychotic this world would be? That would literally solidify to me that this place is beyond, which I already have my suspicions. And it's hard because you don't want to believe that. But
look at all the wars that are going on that are completely and utterly manufactured right now in tons of different countries. It is basically like the Taylor Swift concert and a bunch of fans getting killed, but it's condoned killing in a war that isn't a war that's happening because of freedom and all the things that we've been told in the case of what's happening now. It's just something very nefarious and involving power and money.
So I have three clown worlds. I want to rattle them off really fast. You ready, guys? I want you guys to chime in on this. First one, an airline, things that will not happen. Here's the first one. Airline CEO wants airports to cap passengers at 2 drinks to limit onboard disruptions. Because airline service has gotten so bad nowadays and people are going to have to hang out in the airport, they're getting freaking loaded. So this airline CEO is like, you should, the bartender should ask when it's like, okay, you have a flight today, we're capping you at 2 drinks. I'm gonna tell you,
it's a terrible idea, because we'll never get that girl that was standing up in the aisle going, and I am telling you right now, that not real.
The only thing worse than giving people drinks is not giving them drinks. Yeah,
right.
Seriously, you're going to try to cut off people at 2 drinks? Oh, no. I mean, 2 drinks is just enough to start getting a little surly. You're just going to piss people off.
And when you cancel their flight and make them go to some terminal that's like 20 minutes away and you have to take a tram or something, right. And then that flight gets moved somewhere else, and then that's delayed for about 5 hours, people are going to drink.
Yeah, and come on, the loophole, I've already thought of the loopholes in this, which is, fine, this bar over here, you got capped at that bar. It's not like there's just one bar in airports.
It's not like you have a lanyard.
Okay, I know what this is. This is brainwashing, that like the system is actually trying to make things better, but it never gets implemented.
Right. Yeah, it's
never, not the sales on alcohol. They'd be like, sorry, sir, you can't have, I'm on a 12-hour flight. Give me another bottle of wine, please. Thanks.
Yeah, it's never going to freaking happen. Okay, 2 more real quick. This one, wonderful. This is from zerohedge.com. They always run some good stuff. San Francisco man robbed thousands of dollars of equipment from an FBI truck that was left unattended, and he traded all of it for $20 worth of meth. It was awesome. He turned around and the truck was raided. It had flashbang grenades, a tear gas launcher, surveillance equipment, and bulletproof vests. The 29-year-old was arrested after being caught on multiple surveillance cameras. After he stole it, get this, he rode his bike to a nearby hotel where he was staying. And then by the time they found him at 3 p.m., he had already traded the ballistic vest and tear gas gun. Nice. The best alone were like $1,500. Why do I mention this? I mention this because, again, if you're in a survival situation and you have hard to come by items, like against why I stock cigarettes, I stock prescription drugs, and alcohol. If you find somebody like this, you can trade all sorts of stuff. All sorts of fun stuff. So
maybe we should stock up on meth.
Well,
fentanyl. Just
again,
in case.
I'm not endorsing illegal drugs. I'm just saying prescription drugs can go a long way. Okay, last one. It's
more meth stories.
Another meth story. This is the last one. I like this one.
That much meth. I mean, oh my God.
$5 million in meth disguised as watermelons seized at the border. U.S. Customs found 5,000 pounds. It's like, wow, what do you mean disguised as watermelons? Let me get a close-up for you. Ready? That's what it looks like.
Oh, my gosh.
Literally took the meth and used painted plastic wrap that was colored in different shades of green to make it look like watermelon from a distance, and they got the whole freaking shipment. Wow.
That's a lot of effort.
Yeah,
a lot of effort.
Do it to make a bad watermelon.
But again, a smart move.
It could pass.
Yeah, from far away, but again, some probably a dog or something, Right. But yeah, from a distance, I'm like,
no, someone like stole one, was like, oh my God, I could really go for some refreshing watermelon right now, and it was like a bag of meth. Like, holy.
There you go. So there you go. Anyway, dumb criminals doing dumb things, and Americans apparently like meth. Okay, let us go to our first break. It's going to be a couple minutes longer, just because David Weiss this is going to be a special David Weiss commercial. Don't forget, he's going to be on the show next week. So let us run it. Uncle David.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am very excited to tell you about a brand new cryptocurrency called DomeShot. I've actually got some notes here so I don't forget to tell you everything about it. But DomeShot, aka Dome for short, is unlike any other token out there. It's the official token of the Flat Earth, backed by a loyal community of supporters. But it doesn't just have community, it also has utility, because DomeShot is the official currency of the Flat Earth Clock app, which boasts almost 200,000 members to this point. And while it does have community and it also has utility, its tokenomics are also very impressive. So, starting on September 11th, 2024, there will be a free airdrop, or what we're calling the Dome Drop, for any Flat Earth Clock app user that has provided their MetaMask address in the referral section, they will receive 33 million Dome for simply having their MetaMask address provided on the app. Now, on December 25th, 2024, users who have provided a MetaMask address and have referrals using their personal referral code will receive 1.5 million Dome per referral from the beginning of time all the way up until that date. After that, referrals will be paid out in real time at a rate of 1 million Dome per referral, and that will reduce annually until the total supply of Dome is fully unlocked. Now, any unclaimed Dome created when a user makes a referral without providing their MetaMask address will be collected and stored in a special account, and on December 25th, 2025, that Dome will be airdropped again to any user who has provided their MetaMask wallet address, and that Dome will be allocated based on the amount of Dome that already exists in that wallet. So what it's going to do is, the more Dome you have, the more Dome you'll receive. So it's actually rewarding you for holding your tokens as opposed to selling them. So to be ready for the September 11th airdrop, download the Flat Earth Clock app and visit domeshot.io for any necessary instructional videos. Dome is a coin that pays you to share truth and rewards you for holding on to it. It's minted by Flat Earthers for Flat Earthers and for anyone else who wants to be part of a movement where the sky is the limit. Remember, with Dome Shot, you unlock tokens by unlocking minds.
Join me, Karen B, every Moon Day at 9:30 a.m. for Coffee Talk on YouTube, Rumble, and Rockfin. You never know what you'll learn about in the coffee shop. Open topic and open phones, y'all. You can also go to flatearthfestivals.com for updates on the latest news for Flattoberfest 2024 and also for meetups, local meetups. If you want to have your meetup listed on flatearthfestivals.com for free, please email flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. I don't see that.
Into a cone, so I'm going to switch to the other microphone to see if that's better.
Oh.
Welcome back to Strange World, part 2 of 2. It's you, me, the always perfect Patricia Steere, the delightful DJ Curious. That was Joe Jackson stepping out from his album
Night and Day.
All right, and Peanut, of course, is there, and he gives us
there might be distortion on DJ Curious.
Oh, okay. Well, no, that's
our chat.
Yeah, that's because his
Slight
mic was
distortion.
His mic was still running a little bit hot. DJ, if you had it set at 8, turn it down to like 7.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
How's that?
I think you're good. Well, again, let the chat room decide.
Yeah, chat, let us know. Sorry about that, guys.
No, it's a new microphone.
New mic.
You don't know. It's all right. Chat is, they're on top of it. They can tell you if there's distortion. Plus, there's always people. It's different because some people just listen to it on their phones. Some people have over-the-ear headphones. So, you know, the discerning ear varies.
Oh, did you guys hear about this Wells Fargo worker, this woman who was working in Tempe, Arizona, and she was 60 years old, and she was found dead in her cubicle 4 days after she last clocked in? It's not really a headline story, but it really is about this sort of worker bee cubicle world we live in where people don't even know that you're alive or dead, that you work with as your coworkers, and how sad that is.
I was going to bring that up, but it was just sad.
That's crazy.
Because I used to work, I had a brief stint when I was doing time and attendance software. I was working for ADP, big, giant payroll company. And ADP had entire floors with just a few people in them. Because they moved they hired and fired so many people that someone like that, I knew exactly how it happened. She was put off into freaking left field, and there was hardly ever anyone that came by, and the custodian service, maybe, if they came by and somebody saw someone asleep at their desk, they're not going to say anything.
With a light on, it just looked like she was resting.
Right. And
she was in peace.
Yeah. And someone was like, something smells funny. Yeah. 4 days is a long time. And so that was just freaking, that was just.
I might be frozen.
Yeah. Why is DJ frozen? DJ, reset your camera. What did you do, my man? Because now I was about to get to your special segment.
Oh my God.
That's all right. No, that's all right. Flip your camera off and on. Just click on the
right.
Just click on the camera and go blink. Just tap it. Not physically. The little icon on Skype.
And if that doesn't work, go out and come back in.
There he goes. Now, okay, hit it again. There you go. Oh, great. We're gonna do that thing. There he goes.
Yay.
And now Patricia's overlapping. I'm not gonna fix that.
Sorry, guys.
Now. That's right. I'm gonna.
Oh my God! I literally tapped the top of the microphone because I was so nervous. Or the
really, you did? That's a rookie mistake. You hate to see
Mark.
That. That's kind of like no. That's not. It's not.
The files are in the computer. In the computer.
That's kind of like when people had those pop-out CD trays, and people thought they were frickin' cup holders. Oh my God! I had so many people that did that.
What?
Oh, people didn't know because remember the car cup holders came out before the or just around the same time as CD trays. So
remember 6-disc CDs trays that were in people's
Peanut said it's like hitting Control-Delete.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Or that came in handy back in the day.
Yeah.
Well, now Patricia's camera's not even, so bummer.
I know. It's all right. I'm going to let Patricia go big on this one. She's going to be bigger until
big or go home.
Yeah. Hey, I'm going to let her overlap.
Viewers, give us grace. This is like a flat Earth show. We're lucky we even have one.
Damn right.
Yeah, sure.
Also, Peanut wanted to throw in a last-minute article. He was talking about like how the media can convince you of things. And yeah, there was that rumor, that article that smoking protected you against SARS and COVID-2 infections early on. Yeah, that was a thing.
Which is just promoting that COVID's real again.
Yeah, well, that and I'm sure the smoking industry had nothing to do with the pro story.
Yeah, that's true.
As Peanut keeps swallowing his Pall Mall Reds. All right.
And totally healthy too. Like, how is that working? I guess that's great.
I'm just surprised you just don't like double barrel it. Two Pall Malls at once. Okay.
Two Pall Malls at once and an XL Diet Coke.
There you go. Hey,
not Diet Coke. He says no, not Diet Coke.
DJ.
Some other drink.
DJ.
Yes, I think we just need to make sure that they can hear us because.
Oh yeah. Okay. Chat room. Peanut. Everyone, look. Does everybody sound good? I know they can hear Patricia. Otherwise, they'd tell me something. Can everyone hear DJ?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Chat. Can you hear me?
That's good. You should have been a cheerleader. See, I don't. When you say that you were a nerd, I just don't buy it. I just don't.
I was into X-Files. I did play sports. I played freshman football, and I made the volleyball team and played through varsity. But I was such a nerd and wish I was doing theater, of course. But I was too nervous. Okay.
Let me classify this. Remember, first off, for anyone in the chat room, there is a difference between nerd and geek and dork. I don't want to break that down for you. DJ, were you ever in the math club? No, because that's social suicide. Absolutely. There you go.
Yes, I was. I was in the math club all the time.
You don't have to lie to make friends. Okay, you weren't in the physics club. You weren't in the audiovisual club or the chess club.
I was.
No, you weren't. You may have been a late bloomer like Ryan Reynolds, but you were not.
I know, that's the problem. I didn't fit in with the nerds because I wasn't smart enough, and I didn't fit in with like the other kids because I was just me. So
No, you're good.
I was somewhere in between.
You're good. And again, my life might have been different had we had a decent theater department that would have, asked me to do stuff, even though I hate acting. So.
Well, you're such a natural at this show.
Peanut says Peanut smoked in the computer club. Oh yeah, that shocks no one. Absolutely.
What was Patricia like in high school? Patricia.
I don't know. It's really hard to explain.
Really? Okay.
Good way to explain.
Patricia, did you ever have to carry your own books home from school?
No.
Oh my God, that red hair goes a long way.
my God.
But on another note, taking the focus away from me and putting it on Karen B, her dog died.
Oh, no.
She had a pit bull, a family pit bull, Sir Remington, and he died the other day. So shout out to Karen B. Her whole family is brokenhearted at the loss of pit bull Sir Remington.
I'm
May you
so sorry.
rest in peace.
I'm so sorry. I knew that
Sorry,
dog.
Karen.
It was a good dog. Very active, as you can imagine. Pit bulls, lots of bouncy head and slobber and the eating of children. Hey, DJ.
Yes, Mark.
What are you, again, this is going to be not an awkward segue, but we're trying to work this in. What are you curious about this week in the community?
Well, funny you should ask, Mark.
That was very natural.
Wasn't it? Didn't it come off as natural?
Love it, guys.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about, I think
should have read it from a piece of paper. Go ahead.
What we're trying to tell the viewers is like, hey, I'm going to be investigating something that the Globe side is really kind of presenting as a strong flat earth debunk, and be like, well, let me see if we can kind of gather more information to fire back, because I just don't think that there's enough of that. So, this week I'm really into the final experiment. So I spent some time, I watched the whole stream with Austin Whitsitt and Will Duffy, or if you don't know who Will Duffy is, he got rich basically, I think, through his, motivational or financial books, etc. And he's offered to pay anyone that wants to go to Antarctica and film the 24-hour sun or not. So basically, they're calling it the final experiment, which will debunk the 24-hour sun. And if there is a 24-hour sun, then it kind of leans towards, okay, the globe, it must be real, or it's a sphere, and that will satisfy all that side. But if it's not, then the flat side's position is like, hey, we weren't expecting that. And it's really great to listen to Austin. So shout out to Austin. And but I'm happy to talk about it because we should be more curious. And I want to have a call to action to all of our viewers. Hey, guys, if you have information on Antarctica or good footage or something that you want to share with Strange World, send it to us. And then we can kind of either look at it or feature it on the show and thank the people. So every week we'll have something that DJ is curious about that we're going to help debunk the globe.
All right. What I heard because because of this, I've been listening to Globebusters and Jaronism on a regular basis. And I know that with that, Whitsitt shows up on various things, and those two have been collabing. The early reports was that Jaron said yes, and that but Jaron wasn't going to go alone, and so it was going to be Jaron and Austin. And I know that David's going to talk about this next week as well. But Jaron and Austin were going to go down, right?
Yeah.
However, as of a few days ago, that may have changed because the people involved that are paying for this are altering the contract to say if there's something goes wrong and you can't make it for whatever reason, the expenses then get pushed back to you. And that's a deal breaker right there. And so now they're going to push back on the other side because guys,
define something goes wrong, like the weather doesn't cooperate.
That's just it. So if you miss your flight for whatever reason and you can't get there on the days that you're going to get, remember, because you can't just go to Antarctica on any given day. Right. And Antarctica is, if you guys didn't already know, is one of the most expensive trips in the world to take. Even coach, it's freaking ridiculous, deliberately. And so, Jaron and Whitsitt, they're never going to agree to that, never in a million years.
But in a way, it's not that bad. If it's just that if you miss your flight, doesn't mean, I'm definitely not on Will Duffy's side, okay? But what I'm saying is if he's willing to pay, then you have an obligation to not miss your flight. Well, yeah, but you got to pay for it.
I don't think it's just that.
Sounds okay.
I think, because remember, there's multiple connections to get
but
down there.
if the weather doesn't work out, we can't make an observation. Then I'm not pay for it yourself. That's not fair. But I'm not sure what the real rules are on that.
No, that's what I think they're saying, which is if you don't show up on this time, we don't care why you didn't show up. We're not paying, because then the trip is blown, it's wasted, and we're not gonna throw down that money because it's a wasted trip. Which is why so many things have never been done in Antarctica, because the expenditures, like Rob Skiba back in the day, where he was saying the permits just to do any land based, if you're heading off into the freaking snow, the permit process is incredibly expensive and it's non-refundable. If something goes wrong, it's like, tough, you're gonna have to apply again. It's like you're talking about, I paid like $200,000 for that permit. Like, nope, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
At least it's not making Will Duffy look any more sketchy. It's more of a rule they've imposed because they have to be there at a certain time with the plane that's going to take off with all on board who's going aboard.
Yeah.
There was a lot of sketchy things coming out of Will Duffy and
my
overview. I mean, number one thing that popped out, that because I took some notes on it, I'll make it brief, but he doesn't even know flat earth theory. And so it's a little bit strange to me that he's willing to pay for this experiment, and yet he's so cocky, or he must think flat earth is so easily debunked that, or he's just flat out lying and trying to something more nefarious. I just would be on high alert if I was Austin. And Austin, he's so savvy. He's kind of like, he's asked all the right questions. He did a great job. He represented flat earth beautifully. And he said he's going to pray about it. So I still think everyone should pray for Austin too, just to make sure that, hey, if this is something that he should do, then he really needs to be confident about it.
Right.
Will Duffy in general, when asked by Austin, I believe, when you were making the arrangements to do this in Antarctica, did you ask the people in Antarctica if they had seen the 24-hour sun? Did you even broach it to them? Austin said that Will Duffy said he didn't ask.
And they didn't bring it up to him. Good one, Patricia. I wrote that down. That's
a red flag. It's just two red flags, 2 or 3 in one.
Yeah. So that's why is Will Duffy acting so kind of smirky about it all? There's something weird going on there.
Maybe he's hoping for a big media win, a windfall of media, which is, and again, that's how I'll know if.
How does it benefit him?
Well, he's kind of hitching his wagon to this like whole flat Earth movement, and it does get him more attention for his stuff.
Yeah. Well,
but what's sad to me is that he's allegedly a pastor, and he can't make the biblical cosmology connection here, which that's
that's
to me,
crazy.
Really just,
or even the spiritual connection to not be shady and be a liar and be misleading, and
so
investigate things and be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. It's so sad. Like honestly, we just have to pray for this whole thing, because if it's that, I just think it'd be okay if it happens.
My personal prediction is that it will it'll fold. That it just won't happen, because
called for weather, maybe?
No. 9 out of 10 problems stealing from a movie, but I'm sure the movie stole from something else. 9 out of every 10 problems in the world revolve around money, and this one will come down to that, which was if these guys are so nervous, and I don't blame them. Look, it's a lot of money to pay for 2 guys if you're fronting the trip to Antarctica. This isn't like a trip to frickin' Phoenix. This is a bit of a haul, and if something happened and they couldn't make it there during this window, the guys in question who are funding it would be out of pocket, and I don't think they're gonna roll those dice. So I just don't think
we'll
it's
see. Yeah. But there's something. What else was interesting is that because Will Duffy said McToon and Craig FTFE fight the flat Earth would delete their accounts, and they would change FTFE to FTGE.
Mm-hmm.
So.
No,
I'm
they won't.
That's a reason for Witsit to go.
The trolls are
to get rid of them.
Patricia and I have seen this over the years. When you are a troll and you get, it's not even whatever social media channel, but especially with ours, which once you get good response, once you get good feedback, first rule of media, give the people what they want. You will keep hitting that note.
Yeah, if you're just doing regular videos and you're doing okay, and then you start, I don't know, making fun of somebody or making up lies about somebody or whatever it is, once you hit on that magic combination almost accidentally for the very first time, you're going to look at those skyrocketing numbers and maybe the fact you went viral and say, let's do it again.
Yeah.
Professor.
You're so right. That's
Professor Dave, Cyman Dan, Flight the Flat Earth, and or the channel that DJ wants us to go after eventually, the photography channel. What was his name again?
Well, I want you to do Dave McKeegan.
Dave McKeegan, yeah. I mean, he started out as a generic UK photography channel. Nothing special.
Okay. Apparently he signed up to do the challenge with Austin. That's
of course he
crazy.
did. Of course he did. He got verified. He got sponsors. He got, his numbers, once he started doing anti-flat earth videos, his numbers started rocketing. And he's like, what do you think people are going to do? He's going to keep making more and more of those videos. And once he got his check mark, once he got his sponsorship, he's like, oh, I'm never leaving this go. Never.
Yeah, because the flat earthers are the underdogs, guys.
Yeah, we're the ones fueling these channels, which is...
We're the underdogs, yeah. And you cash in on making fun of it, but, beware.
Again, and what you're doing, this for the trolls, you're doing nothing new. Every major channel I can even think of has done a flat earth video in one form or another. Most are negative to neutral, very few are positive. Some just throw up their hands and say, well, I don't know. But, they tend to go with the majority. Go ahead, TJ.
Listening to Austin, he goes, you know what, when they do these debates with McToon and other people, he's like, they're just lying. They're just lying about the globe. And he goes, they're falsifying information. And so, but that's what the globe size says. If you're new to flat earth and you've never seen any of this information before, you literally think that the flat earthers are believing lies about the flat earth and that therefore they're being brainwashed and it's some sort of psyop. But
like then a cult or something.
Yeah, like a cult, which obviously there's no leader, there's no doctrine. Sorry, Mark, you're the leader of Earth, though. You're the leader of Earth.
Thank you. It's all right. I'll take it.
Sorry, the leader of Earth. All hail.
Elon, you can suck it. Go ahead.
But my point is that Austin he is up there doing all the heavy lifting with the really technical stuff. And so I recommend listening to this and kind of giving your thoughts on what you feel, because we may see Austin at Flattoberfest. He's supposed to be there. And that I just would love for it to, we all want this answer. That's why they're calling it the final experiment. But Austin was very clear to say, hey, even if it proves that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, that it doesn't disprove the globe and it doesn't, or the flat earth, and it doesn't automatically assume that we're in a vacuum of space. So if you're curious out there listening, it doesn't debunk everything that you believe in this very moment. It just might be something we have to investigate.
And it's not a final experiment. That's an eye-roll inducing title. Do you know something about the people who are professional flat earth debunkers? They are only in existence because of flat earthers. Now, we would exist without the debunkers.
And we
did. The debunkers need us. Without us, you debunkers are nothing.
Yeah.
So true.
We, for a number of years, for the first, 3 years, there was no professional, I use that word lightly, anti-flat earth channels. In fact, the running joke was the only anti-flat earth was the infighting inside the flat earth.
Yeah, true.
The villain for the documentary, which the Netflix documentary, wasn't an outside force. It was Matt Boylan. It was one of the originators. There was no the channels that we're seeing nowadays. No, they weren't even there. They weren't even part of the discussion. Where were you guys 5 years ago? Oh, right. You didn't exist yet. You only came on the scene because you accidentally fell into the numbers that were flat earth, the metrics that we were generating for you.
Right. You said, that looks tasty. I'll have me some of that.
Damn right they did. And they got all verified drives me nuts, by the way. They get verified channels, and yet YouTube tells me you will never be verified. And you won't be monetized either. It's like, well, not anymore.
Mark, why do you think that this is even a thing then? Why doesn't the flat side have, or does the flat side have more information on, no 24-hour sun in Antarctica? And can you kind of give us a little bit of insight on what you think is going on? And why is this a thing?
What, you mean, why are they trying to go down this road?
No, but does the flat side have more evidence that we already know that there's no 24-hour sun pretty well?
No. We don't? No.
What do we have on our side?
What we have...
Well, we have videos that were given to us by officials that show something that they claim is the 24-hour sun, but it's all cut up and patched together and is obviously not just a continuous stream. And why would that be the case if it were real?
Two things, yes. Okay. What Patricia was saying there, Jaron and Bob and the original globe busting team, they analyzed as many videos as they could when it came to Antarctica, and there seemed to be gaps. David Weiss was in on this. They love making videos like, look, there's gaps. For whatever reason, they can't show us 24 hours straight. However, to be fair, if Antarctica was cheaper, and by that I mean a lot cheaper, we would have gone down there by now. We would have gone down there many, many times, which is why we had to work on other things that were closer to home, although, Karen and her group went out to Lake Balaton. I think it was over in Hungary. And we did as many ground tests as we could. But when it came to the sky, because Antarctica had so many negative reinforcements, the place just screams go away. We didn't go there. So we focused on everything that was on the ground. And when it came to stuff in the sky, it's like, okay, we're going to track whatever. But like David Weiss will tell you next week, it's like, when it comes to the sky, we don't know anything. we can only tell you what we see. But again, which is why, again, I'm not criticizing Jaron. Look, if he's going to go down that thing, great. If he wants to hype it up, that's fine. But, and I've said on how many interviews, DJs, you've listened to interviews. Well, I've said many times, they say, what's the weakest part about flat Earth? I go, the 24-hour sun. That's it. And then and it's funny to me because I'll explain it to people. I'll offer it. I'll say, well, if there was a 24-hour sun, that would mean that there was probably more than one light source. There was something going on. But because the average person doesn't understand that entire concept, they just gloss over it. I go, it's the weakest thing we've ever had for 9 years. No one brings it up. Finally, a channel decides, we're going to address this. And they think it's the second coming. They think it's
right.
A brand new concept.
About it. I mean, what's interesting is, so Terry Eicher, who makes Flat Out Truth, he did some debunking videos of Professor Dave's kind of 10 silver bullets for flat Earth. And so he goes into it and he shows actual footage of scientists in Antarctica. It was episode 2, if you're looking for it. It's called Debunking Professor Dumb Dave with Terry's voice. And he does an awesome job with actual footage of how they expect in Antarctica 4 months of darkness. So as I guess to help make everyone understand this a little bit more clearly, are they saying that there could be a 24-hour sun despite that time frame on the globe model, or what is going on there?
They're saying, okay, for those of you who don't know, and again, the reason why it's not even in my top 10 list as far as proving the globe or disproving flat Earth or vice versa, is that the average person can't understand it. Which is the point is that if you're talking about some sort of flat disk, right, with one light source going above it, 24-hour sun in the Arctic Circle, that's easy because it's just a tight circle around a small area. But Antarctica, 24-hour sun would be really, really difficult to do, if not impossible, with a single light source. Which is why I offered up right away, there's got to be more than one light source. There's got to be something else happening down there that we don't know. And so them harping on it like it's an absolute, like it's a final experiment. No, for the love of God, no. And you and I have talked about this, DJ, which even if you could prove that there was a 24-hour sun, which is fine, that in no way, I'll use a biblical comparison, has no veto power over everything else we have covered over the last decade.
Right.
Again, the biblical reference would be Isaiah 40:22, right? He who sitteth upon the circle of the earth.
Yeah.
One verse in the entire text that even hints at something like that, and they're treating it like, oh, no, that overrides everything else that's ever said, including Genesis. It's like, in what world?
But circle and globe, like Rob Skiba has brought up, are not the same word.
Not in the ancient Hebrew.
Right.
No, ball and sphere and globe are not the same.
Well, and in fact, for the people who don't know what it could be, then it could be a reflection of light coming through the firmament and creating a reflection.
Yes.
There's options that we just don't know everything.
Or two suns. I mean, heck, I'm not taking that off the table either.
I'll give you one more.
I mean, the Bible does say there's only one sun and one moon, so that's why I kind of pay attention to that lens, just in case it's accurate, because it's accurate on everything apparently, which is good news. So if there's a reflection of something, that could be a possibility.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The two suns sounds out there for sure.
I was always a big fan, although that new footage from that one lady who could not see it with her naked eye, but that camera, DJ, I showed that last week during the after show. Yeah, with the two suns.
What she says are two suns. Yeah.
Well, it was showing double lens flare, and
that's
she
weird.
could not see it with the naked eye. Of course, kind of tough to see it with the naked eye anyway.
Yeah.
If you guys want to look up some fun stuff, look up some interviews by Eric Dollard, Dollard. Brilliant cookie scientist who's way out there. But
where is he now is a good question.
Oh, I think he's still around, but he had some fantastic interviews. And one of the things he was talking, he was saying that the sun was basically a transformer and like a light bulb, and the energy was coming from somewhere else.
Not like a big ball of fire, like
no. He goes, there was no fusion. He goes, you only see fusion in the flares. He goes, and he goes, and they were saying, what causes the light? He goes, I don't know. Nobody knows. They're just throwing ideas out there.
I love that when scientists say, I don't know.
Yeah, and he was really honest when he said it. So look up Eric Dollard's. There's one where he's sitting in a car, and it's wonderful. I also like the example of a magnifying glass. You guys have all seen it yourself. You take a magnifying glass with the sun, and you do that pinpoint of light. That pinpoint of light is brighter than you can even look at, and that is just a beam of light created from the sun. That's not the sun itself. Remember, that's down there. The sun is in the opposite direction. Technically, you've got two pinpoints of light that are in the same area doing the same sort of thing. So anyway,
Well, we look forward to your 60-second clips on the sun and the moon because I think a lot of people are curious what is the moon. But getting back to the sun really quick, well, and also this final experiment, I wanted to mention after listening to it that it seems like Austin is really confident that he's not going to see a 24-hour sun. So if I feel like if it was possible, then we would have this would have been an easy one to debunk. So that one is why I think that.
If I was going to go down, I've been asked to go to Antarctica numerous times by various people, and I've turned them all down, not because of the sun thing, because they wanted to do a final thing there. And I go, from a filming standpoint, anybody that knows anything about cameras, it's a nightmare to shoot, which is it's white against white against white. There's no definition. I go, you want to do a finale? I send them clips of the Salar del Uyuni, the Bolivian salt flats that get like a half inch of water. And it's just gorgeous. It's 100 square miles. But if it was me, I hate to say it, but I'd half expect that I wouldn't surprise me at all if there was a 24-hour sun. Because
the reason, that they think that because at the north you can see a 24-hour sun pretty easily, that there's constant footage, right? I mean, that's the argument that it should be equal on the south.
Right. It should be equal on the south. However, physically, if we're talking about a pure physical one light source, you can't do it. You can't. It's too big an area. It's way, the inner circle of the dinner plate is way, way smaller. So much smaller. Order of magnitude smaller. And
what's good to know if you're curious out there, flat earthers, and you're going to look into this. Hey, look into, like I said, Terry Eicher's video. He also explains the Gleason map, the AE map, and in that map it does say that you will not experience sun past, I believe it was like the 80th south parallel or something. That you won't even see the sun. Right. So I found that interesting.
It could be one of those myths that has been passed on for years and years. Excuse me. Sort of like the drains. Sorry, my voice is screwed up because
toilets flushing the opposite.
Flushing in the wrong direction, hemisphere. which we know is a myth. Because it just.
But so many people believe it's true still.
Yeah, well, how about those people like at the equator that they can like show you it flushing in each direction?
Well, yeah, and again, the fact is and again, it's a great tourist trap thing where you move 6 feet to the left or right, and you can get to spin a different direction and go. Even if that was true, the spin, which is why I've mentioned time and time again the giant YouTube channel Smarter Every Day.
For all you Globers, if that's your biggest globe proof, that is down the toilet, so to speak. So there's my
absolutely. I mean, he did a thing with kids waiting pools, big waiting pools, simultaneous, where they did video recording, simulcast in two different, one I think was in Australia, one was in North America, and they made sure the pools were completely settled. They were absolutely identical pools, and they had a center drain, and they, just to make sure they didn't disturb the water, they used eyedroppers with food coloring to make sure they knew exactly. And he goes, the spin was so incredibly gradual that it might as well not have been there at all. And so all that stuff, and the whole thing was because of the toilets. That the only reason he did that experiment. Now, was he a flat earther? No. In fact, the guy's Smarter Every Day is a massive NASA fan. He didn't understand what he was doing. It's like, oh, great. So there is no spin difference there. So
he's not getting smarter every day.
No, he's not. Anyway.
Well, it's a cool thing. I think it's kind of exciting. It's getting people talking about flat Earth right now, and it might even trickle into the globe side. So again, it can't hurt anything. More arrows onto the bonfire. Right. But Will Duffy, if you're using this for your own personal gain, our message to you is, really check your conscience right now because it's not worth it, dude. And Austin, you got our support 100%. And we just, like I said before, pray for his safety, pray for his family. Make sure you do it. If you do it, that he feels right about it.
Oh yeah. And so Jaron is out.
Well, we don't know yet. They're still trying to iron it out. But
going to go without Jaron.
The impression I got was when Jaron was talking was if they're trying to do pushback, and I've run into this with different people and different producers over the year. When it comes down to the money thing, Jaron's already drawn this line, which is no. I'm going. You're covering it. There's no fine print here. Right. He goes, I'm not signing. Jaron was never going to sign a contract where he would be on the hook for the money if fill in the blank here. He's never He's never going to. Austin's not going to do it either. It's
his
an all or
plane's
nothing.
Delayed and then he owes all the money. I mean, if they took care of all those caveats, fine. If it was only if Jaron or Austin bail out of their own accord at the last minute, they'd have to take on the money. Then that seems fair. But
here's one more suggestion. Sorry, real quick. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Patricia, but I want to get this out, which before I forget, because you know my mind. When you're down there, if you do go down there, cover the other myth, which would be very easy to do. Not necessarily the toilets flushing in one direction or the other, which is the compass, which is and very I don't know.
The pole moving all over.
Well, no, the compass doesn't do anything. In Antarctica. Remember, that was one of my early clues, which was a guy in Antarctica got a hold of me from Australian military intelligence, and he goes, just so you know. He goes, again, the general public doesn't figure this out. He goes, South Pole, there's north and south on a compass, right? It's a bar magnet, supposedly, the globe. He goes, south never dominates. It's never pulls south. It's always pulling north. That's why when you get down to the South Pole, the compass doesn't do anything. He goes, and in fact, you can ask people in Antarctica. It's like, hey, what's the compass do, right? It's like, nothing. Freaking nothing. So they put that silver post in the middle with, surrounded by the flags and the snow, and they say, oh, this is the South Pole. They don't talk about magnetics. They don't encourage people to get out their compasses. The South should, when you leave, again, if it was a globe, once you cross the equator, it shouldn't. In fact, there's been some wonderful videos by some of our people recently, which is if there's two magnetic forces, right, on a globe, once it reaches a certain point, the compass, in fact, once you get past the equator, the compass would start acting funny. It would get you mixed readings. So in this case,
and people must be experiencing that, so they kind of know. Maybe when they hear flat Earth, they're like, "Ooh, this is kind of creepy." Because even they're working down in Antarctica. I wonder how much they think about, are we in space or not, or on a globe or not. But it's nice to know that these are kind of more proofs to push the flat Earth theory forward. Because basically, what we're really saying is that the globe. We can let go of the globe, and that means the flat Earth is much more interesting and much more complex than we've been kind of brought up to believe that it is.
Right.
And that's what happens when you become a flat Earth. You're like, well, what is our realm? It could be a magnetic toroid field. That's what maybe Dave can talk about next week. And what are we seeing other clues about what the Earth is really doing? And, Austin is great because he talks a lot about electrostatics and kind of eliminating the need for gravity. And so this experiment, we'll see what happens, but it's great to be having these conversations.
Yeah. Hey,
the world is even more magic than we have been told.
Do we? Yeah. Can I mention something? I don't know what else was on your list, but I wanted to mention something really quick. And I know that David will want to talk about it next week, but I want to bring this up, which is, Flat Earth Social has been doing meetups in West UK. They do multiple meetups over in the UK, and Ian has been doing one in the West UK and has had a number of guests. And he recently had Nathan Oakley, and it went fine for the most part. Nathan, as you know, beats up trolls on a regular basis. He is probably the most. I mean, Austin will debate people and humiliate you with intellect and all sorts of high-priced words. Whereas Nathan Oakley treats it like an S&M club. He just attacks. He just whips you with a freaking riding crop. He just comes after you, and he can be a bit harsh, and that's me being nice. So during this meetup, turns out there was a couple trolls that made it into this meetup.
Ooh.
And they were asking him questions during the Q&A part, and and again, they were asking Ian they didn't even have the mic. They were just yelling these things. And normally Nathan gets to cut them off. He's got a wonderful little mute setup where he can just cut off people on a regular basis and he just come out. He couldn't cut them off. And so they didn't really know what to do, and so I think they cut it short a little bit, and then Nathan got the hell out of there. But I'm defending Ian here, and hopefully Nathan's listening or Nathan's people is listening. And I know that Nathan was coming after Ian, saying that he let him in deliberately. It's like, come on. The trolls, we've had enough personal people there. Heck, I even came in on video things. Dave Murphy was there several times. David Weiss flew out there. To where if there were, trolls were, had a chance to come to those, but again, I'm trying to be fair here. I would have been surprised if trolls didn't show up for Nathan Oakley, because Nathan comes after people so hard that all of a sudden it's, wait, Nathan's going to be somewhere in person? Oh yeah, I'm going to make the 2-hour drive. And they did. And so what I'm trying to say here is this is a message for Nathan and anyone that follows Nathan. It's like, no, this was not a setup in any way. Ian's one of the nicest guys I've ever met and ever talked to. He loves the community. He's been making music for our community since the beginning, and he's been doing meetups nonstop. He's been absolutely freaking wonderful. David Weiss will vouch for him all day long. So it wasn't a setup. It's like, look, the trolls were going to show up. Trolls happen. The trolls are in our chat room right now as we speak. In your case, they just happen to be there in person. So I can see it. So there you go. Nathan,
well, that'll be fun.
What a mess. How sad.
Nathan.
So many flat Earth characters out there. Everyone's got their little bit of, their technique. You come off as the kind one, Mark.
Yeah, I do. But I mean, come on, Austin Whitsitt. There's some, like when Austin Whitsitt, they wouldn't let him on stage during that pastor versus pastor thing that happened. Where.
But I do love Nathan though, so I'll have to say that.
No, I met Nathan. I got nothing against Nathan. Nathan, the fact that he's done thousands of shows where he just, some of the people I think they just come on because they want to.
He's actually in person, like really sweet and a loving husband and a loving father to his children, and like really cares about using his espresso machine and making a good cup of coffee. He's like very gentle person.
I know. And I think
in real life.
I believe you. And I don't know if I would have gone with the shaved head thing because now he comes off as like a flat earth Lex Luthor. He's got that. It makes him seem seriously more evil for the trolls. And that's not me being mean. It's just like,
hey, but we need a kind of like a more forward flat earther because people learn all different kind of ways. It might resonate with someone else versus someone else's technique. You never know.
Yeah.
And he knows his stuff. So, hey, it is funny. It's just, I have had friends send me things like, really, this guy, he's kind of an ass. And I'm like, well, you would be too if the whole world is just laughing at you and calling you that you're being brainwashed and all these things. But when literally the flat side is like, guys, come look at this so we can pull you out of the matrix.
Well, he also got positive reinforcement, which is the more he yelled and the more he berated people, the more the chat room loved it. Where, again, it's like, all right, I'm just going to keep doing it. And he just kept up. And again, what made it interesting for me to watch him over the years is he's done thousands of shows. So this reinforcement just got compounded every month, every year until we're now. Again, I'm surprised there were trolls that didn't charge the stage at when he was doing the thing with Ian. Anyway, hopefully
that's what DJ's curious about this week. Every week we'll have something new. I have other things on my list, but do you want to get the callers?
Yeah, go ahead. That's right. We were gonna. Well, give me one more, and then because Peanut's like, do we have any phone line things? We should probably look at the phone lines. So
if you want to go to callers, then we can.
No. Go ahead. You go ahead. Rattle off one more, and I'll look at the callers.
Well, just kind of give us the 1 minute rundown of how did your Melodome trivia show go?
Oh yeah.
Oh right. Yeah.
Well, Mark beat me in the Melodome channel trivia. The questions were way harder than either one of us anticipated, and we both appreciate being asked on the Melodome channel to do the trivia. But Mark did beat me, but that is what I predicted.
Okay, first.
Well, I saw you get some points on the board, girl, so good job.
Yeah, Patricia got the first point, and no, for me, it wasn't about winning or losing. I mean, we had some nice banter, which was great. I'm a big fan of, look, I've absorbed so many freaking game shows and question things over the years for different things that you want to give. It's not that if you can answer the question, it's who can answer the question first. Right, not necessarily that you're hitting buzzers, but there's a reason why people don't get.
You could be the world champion. Oh, we're having some
people
video,
don't get,
audio.
No, you're good. I'm looking at you. You look good.
No, you are.
Wait, what's wrong with me?
You were glitching.
Was I? I look fine. Don't I look fine? Peanut's nodding. He's saying
fine.
All right.
This right here, Patricia. This is why we're not talking more. So no, there's a reason why in Jeopardy, for example, you don't see people just staring at the screen. No one gets stumped in Jeopardy. I mean, yes, there's some bad boards out there, but it's rare, super rare. They know who they're talking to and they know who they're profiling. So, again, asking me, Patricia's going to be way more kind than I am. I'm harsh when it comes to reviews. Which is like, look, if you're going to ask me, it's like, oh, hey, how many miles are in a light year? And you want me to do that in my head? It's like, what? What are you talking about? Why? It's like okay. Again, that's 720 million miles an hour times 24 hours in a day times 365. I'm not doing that in my head. You're lucky I can rattle it off that far. So again, I will use the quote for this, and other than that, it was fine.
Don't they describe it that a light year is the speed that light travels in 1 year, or going 1 year at the speed of light?
If you believe in light speed as the absolute fastest speed, which I don't.
Oh my God, I know my globe facts.
Yes, yeah, you're absolutely right. There was a thing that Einstein said, which I loved. I've kept this quote with me for years and years, which was when a reporter gave Einstein crap, because it's like, how many feet are in a mile? Einstein didn't know. And he's going, what are you talking about? I know. How do you not know? It goes, and Einstein looks at him straight in the eye and goes, because I can look that up. Meaning, it's like, I don't want to worry about that crap. I'm not going to fill my brain with memorizing all this stuff. I'm not going to memorize the periodic table. I'm not going to memorize every calculus equation. I'm going to, memorize the theory. I'm going to go after the theory. I'm going to let my mind just freaking fly and then get it down on paper. So,
well, when I didn't know an answer, I just guessed 33. So
there you go.
Hey, you win every time with 33. You're on a roll. It's like on the Scantron when you could judge A, B, C, or D. It's like usually it was C. It's like odds are good. But
yeah.
There is one. I don't know if we picked up 470.
We're looking for new callers still. By the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking.
Oh yeah,
for.
new callers. If you're on the fence, give a call in.
Yeah,
let
please.
me see here. Can we do Rebecca?
I'm going to pick up. You're not. By the way, you're not supposed to say her name unless.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Wait, Rebecca. Oh, let me hang on. Her address is this. Her phone number is this.
No.
She lives on Sunnybrook Farm.
I read that wrong. It was Jessica. Sorry.
No. You're fine. You're totally good. All right, 470. What do you got? Dazzle us.
All right. Am I on? Is this for Rebecca?
Yes. Normally I'd mess with you, but I'm not going to take the chance. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. So I had a quick question for D-Day, Patricia, and you, Mark, as well. So my son is 18. He says he's 35% believing in the flat earth, but he decided to tell everyone anyway. And so now he has his very first girlfriend, sweet homeschooler, Christian family. We're a Christian family. She comes over here for the first time yesterday for dinner so we can meet her. And so I'm thinking, like, oh, goodness, like, she must think we're so strange because he just totally beat us to it. Like, they're flat earthers. They went to a conference. They went to the conference in Las Vegas last year. They're diehards. I'm like, oh, shoot. Like, how should I help her cope?
You guys look so cool.
And so...
Go ahead.
Yeah, no. Dusty has a picture of this. He has a picture of this. I actually made a doormat and just had in big, bold letters so she'd see it right off when she came to her front door, flat earth. Like,
you guys are awesome.
Like, especially... And I'm like, let's just rip the Band-Aid off because I can't handle it. I just can't handle it. And like, she laughed. She did. It kind of broke the ice. But I knew at some point, like, when you start hearing flat earth material from middle-aged people versus some goofy teenage kid, it starts to get scary because it's like, what do you mean? Like, you're this age and you're telling me this? Like, what do you mean you guys are professionals? You have jobs. Like, why are you telling me this? And I could kind of see her shift uncomfortably. I could see her, like, trying to cope. And I guess, like, any tips for, like, what's the shortcut to explain something to a 17-year-old girl about flat earth that maybe my son neglected to mention? That was the question.
Ooh, good question.
Well, you could serve pancakes and...
Yeah, you could just be extra lovely, obviously.
Nice
and
flat food.
Luckily, you and your husband, your family are just lovely people and so welcoming. And I think that's what they're not going to remember what you say or do. They're going to remember how you made them feel.
Right.
So start with that. But I think Mark can actually answer that pretty well. I would say just kind of say, hey, we're not afraid to question anything, and we're looking at it through the lens of what if this isn't true. And also we take the Bible to be fundamentally correct in the sense of, like, God told us the truth up front. So we're going to trust God's word over man's word in this moment. And yeah, we look different, but that's okay because our faith it's just made our faith way stronger.
And
so
she's Christian too, so that would be a really great way to connect.
Yeah.
I would also, if he hasn't done it already, I would forward him to, I'm pretty sure Rob Skiba's website's still up there, probably the best Christian website in our library called testingtheglobe.com, which is wonderful. He went through it. He let me know right after he did it that he went through the Bible with a fine-tooth comb. He goes, it's a flat earth book. He goes, here's all my bullet points. He laid it out very, very well. He's done wonderful videos on it. I would point her at that website first. Hopefully her attention span is better than the average kids. If they're goldfish, then we've got shorter videos. Again, that's why I've been working on my my Fast Earth clues as fast as I can. Other than that, I hate to say it, but Patricia's subliminal thing wasn't half bad, which is only serve flat foods. So that you can kind of use that. It's like, well, this pizza that we're dining on, these waffles.
Oh man,
this pita bread. You could really roll with that if you wanted to. And draw. I mean, draw.
Oh my gosh.
Draw out a flat Earth map in food. On particular things. Seriously, you could have some fun. I mean, I hate to say this, but like during my birthday a couple of years ago, somebody sent me they had a local bakery made it for me. They made a flat Earth cake for me. And on top, I think I used the slides in some of my slide presentations where they used, try to make as much flat Earth memorabilia on the cake. And the people that made the cake were giving me strange looks when they delivered it to me. Because they're like, what did we make? Because they had to create it from scratch. So
we don't have a template for this one. What are we going to make?
Yeah. So does that?
It is tough. It's hard to be so against the grain, guys. It is like nothing looks dumber than a flat earther. But since you have Grace, I just know that. Well, hopefully your son's really cute too, because that will help. And then she'll just kind of look past anything. So we'll see. But
wait. I got one more for you. Is she gonna? Is there a chance? Just say. Oh, by the way, Peanut says just say Taylor Swift hasn't denied it. Oh yeah, there we go. Taylor Swift hasn't denied flat Earth.
And if your son's young friend makes any little motions of denial about flat Earth, just say, "Okay, round earther."
Oh yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
okay. Wait, one more. Which is is there a? What's her first name, if you don't mind?
Her first name is Ollie. And her dad is a college professor at the college where my son goes. It's a small Christian college, outside of Chattanooga.
Okay.
And so I'm just kind of like, my son just really loves this girl. Like, their personalities seem to mesh well because we played kind of like a board game with dinner because that's like a good way to like interact and like kind of like take some of the pressure off.
Okay. And it's flat.
And
okay. And I'm sorry.
Exactly.
And your son's name? No, I'll help you out here. You ready? I'll do this for you. What's your son's name?
His name is Elijah.
Elijah. Okay, so Elijah, and her name is Ollie. Okay, so all you have to do is make sure Ollie. His name is Elijah. So timestamp this part of the show right now because it'll be recorded by the time you play it for him, and say this. So, Ollie, if you're listening, don't give up on Elijah and her family. They're not crazy. They're open-minded. They're wonderful people. I can completely vouch for them. And Elijah's mom was bold enough to call into the show, and she didn't even ask me to do this. And what I'm saying is, Ollie, if you're listening, you might have a winner here with Elijah. So work with him on it. Open your mind up a little bit. And if you're going to run, do it quietly. Make sure they don't hear you. Okay? So there you go.
Oh my God, I love it. This is Mark's gonna have his own Vimeo account where he can send people best wishes and happy birthdays.
Yeah, like Cameo.
Yeah, there you go.
Cameo in the Flat Earth community. But Rebecca, also another thing is keep in mind if her father, if they're Christians, when they hear this information that some people take the Bible literally in that sense, where how God describes it in Genesis is exactly what we're experiencing in our reality, it's actually a breath of fresh air for every single Christian person out there once they can equate God's word to the authority on truth and that they see the earth the way that God created it for themselves, and they can have more faith because it gives God's word so much more weight and power than it had before, that most Christians are waiting for this information to come out.
Fact.
That is awesome. You said that beautifully, Dusty. Sorry, I didn't need to say your first name.
DJ Curious.
If you email me.
Okay, I said your first and last name. If you don't know, and nobody knows you. Luckily, it's a really common name. And I changed it to Rejessica.
If you email me,
oh my gosh,
and remind me of this conversation, I think I can't remember the name of the clue off the top of my head because it's been quite a few years. But I talked about the Tower of Babel story, and it might resonate with her. If the Tower of Babel means anything to her, she could listen to it. It's a fairly short thing, and she might get something out of it. So,
and look into other scriptures that talk about,
we asked her if she looked anything up, and she said no. Like, it's kind of like, I think she just really likes my son, and she, like, I don't know what she's thinking. Like, maybe she believes this is a short-term phase, and he's going to grow out of it.
No,
and maybe that's just what the girl's parents are telling themselves. He's going to grow out of this.
No, and I don't know how you want to break it to her that we have a 99% retention rate, because that probably won't.
The only way out is death.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. No one gets out, as far as I can tell. I mean, every once in a while you'll hear about it. It's like, oh, I was in. It's like, really? Were you in? I don't think you were.
I don't recognize your name.
Well, you have the scriptures on your side, Jessica, so never forget that.
I think this is Matt. The look on her face when I mentioned that NASA. Hey guys.
Hi.
The look on her face when I mentioned that NASA bases all of their stuff off of a flat, non-rotating Earth. It's just like glazed over.
That poor girl. Oh my God, you guys are so funny. You're coming up like the Addams family, but worse, the flat Earth family. Oh, but it's okay.
The glazed over look is.
I felt like that. I did. Like, she must think we're such freakazoids.
No, just. Well, I get. Well, okay, all right. One last thing, because we got to wrap up the show here pretty soon, which is the one key I want to mention to you. If you're going to go down this road with her, don't mix in other conspiracies real fast, like a cookie recipe.
Right. No, I already thought of that. I did.
Don't do that.
Because then we sound like we're just totally paranoid.
Well, yeah, you'll overwhelm them. I mean, flat Earth, as you know. I mean, again, treat it no different like a whole bunch of drugs. Flat Earth is fine on its own. You do not have to mix it with other things. You absolutely do not. Flat Earth.
So good. Oh my God, Mark, you do give great advice.
Well, no, it's true. Pure uncut flat Earth. Yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Don't turn it into a conspiracy cocktail. It just see what you've watched people. Again, if she gets glazed over with that, it's going to take her a while to come out of it. Anyway, anything else we can do for you?
No, I think that's about it. I think I got what I needed. That was really cool.
Oh, good. And don't forget the timestamp. And Ollie, again, not crazy. Absolutely not crazy.
It's beautiful. It's not crazy.
You're the best.
It's okay, everyone.
Right.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Have a good one.
Like we said at the first international conference together in a group, we're not crazy.
Yeah. That was.
Oh my God, Patricia, you screaming in the hangar at NASA going, the Earth is flat. I'm behind the curve, lives rent-free in my mind now. I'm just like, that woman is so brave. So cool.
Well, we were so lucky at that point, and I know we got to wrap this thing up. We were so lucky at that point because when we were there, we were literally the only people there. It was the perfect time to shoot, and we got almost everything done before a little group came through. And but again, it made it look really bleak when they were in there. It's like, this giant rocket, the Apollo program rocket, the Saturn rocket, lying there, nobody there in this abandoned, building, supposedly.
Even the entry door was just some nondescript random metal door.
Yeah, just some door. We had no idea. We had no idea what we were doing. We just opened. It's like, holy smokes, we're actually in here. It was such a perfect production value. Hey, anyway, we gotta wrap this things up. So and before I say goodnight to you guys, any closing remarks, anything, DJ, you want to get off your chest?
Yes. So next week I'm curious about the Antarctica 24-hour sun. So chat or viewers, post in the comments any links to stuff that you think would be great for us to go look into, material, whatever evidence you have. So that is a call to action to our viewers to help us debunk that. And thank you so much.
Patricia, you got any parting shots?
Nothing really, but there will be a link in this video after it makes its way to YouTube to my channel. It's a small little channel, but it's trying to make a go of it. And I'm putting up all sorts of very old videos dating back from 2015 to 2019 on it. And in mid to late September, I will be allowed to use this channel that I have called Patricia Steere to actually broadcast live. Right now, it's under a community guideline strike for something I said about vaccines in 2015. So, yeah, so please subscribe to the channel. And that's all I've got to say.
All right.
It's been fun.
Don't forget that next week we will be here, same flat time, same flat channel. However, David Weiss will be on the show. I'm sure you'll see it being promoted on his app. If it's not promoted on his app, David, I will install more cams in your house until you start promoting it, and then it's going to get ugly. So,
and for those old timers, I might just kick David Weiss off the show. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know. If you don't, you're puzzled. But if you know,
Patricia and David, they've never really gotten along that well.
No,
sorry.
That's not.
I mean, he's not easy to deal with.
And add DJ Curious on social media. I'm posting all of Mark's 60-second clips as well as other Flat Earth material. And I say goodnight, Mark.
Thanks to Peanut and ZULUONE for simulcasting and everyone in the live chat.
All right. Say goodnight. Patricia, ladies first.
Good night.
Say goodnight, DJ.
Good night, Strange World. Stay curious.
All right. We're going to run the show end, which I really haven't. No, I actually tightened that up a little bit. So we're going to run the drum thing right about now. Hot sex.
Fought in many wars, danced our lives away. How well we loved is how long our lovers stay. They say that mom.
Obsolete is the punk that talk more junk than Sarah sales. I jet propel at a rate to complicate the mental state as I invade the masquerade. They couldn't fade with the clipper blade. 10 years in the trade is not enough, you can't cut it. I let you take a swing and you butt it for an easy out. I leave them seized with doubt of exceeding. My name is Booty Brown and I'm proceeding, leading. They try to follow but they shallow and hollow. I can see right through them like an empty 40 bottle of OE. They have no key or no clue to the game at all. Now they washed up, hung out to dry, standing looking stupid, wondering why. Why, man? It was the fame that they tried to get. Now they walking around talking about represent and keep it real. But I got to appeal, cause they existed in the fantasy when holding it still.
Rockabye, baby. Listen to your heartbeat pumping to a fine ravine of all things. It's the vein of a shrine. Or missions impossible or possible, cause I'm headed for a new sector 365. Days from now, I'll wipe the sweat from my eye. And each and every tree will stick or fall from the skies of my cloud nine. From homies all the way to 6, no matter how fine. Controlling it's a swollen way to wreck a proud mind. You hold it in your hands and watch a man start crying. Tear after tear in the puppet man's hands. Every time you take a stance, you do the puppet man's dance. And the world's at a standstill. Deep in broken Mansville, trapped in the moat with an anvil still. Killing yourself and dogging your health. You ain't amphibious, so grab a hold of yourself.
But through my will, my flow still will spill. Toxic, slick, the shock, sick like electrocute. When I execute acutely over the rhythm on those that pollute, extra dosages is what I gotta give them. Got them mad and trembling, cause I've been up in my lab assembling missiles to bomb the enemy, because they envy me in the making of my mad currency. Currently I think we're in a state of an emergency, cause niggas done sold they souls and now they souls is hollow. And I think they can't follow, they can't swallow the truth because it hurts. This is how I put it down, this is my earth, my turf. The worth of my birth is $1 billion, and you know what time it is, I'm gonna make $1 million. Yeah, you know what time is it? Yeah, you know what time time is it? Yeah, you know what time is it? Yeah, you know what time.
We'd all like to welcome you here to this little flight. Now entering 50,000 feet. Get you higher than the sky. All day and all night. You have to enjoy the ride. You've got to enjoy the ride now. This is gonna last at least 5 minutes of your time. But the whole
Give damaged hair